Chapter 4479. Lin Fei didn't think that the God Tree of Life would have such an effect. Being able to fuse the Tao Heart was out of Lin Fei's expectations. He thought that 5,000 Tao Heart fragments wouldn't be able to form many Tao Heart. He didn't expect to form 5 Tao Hearts. Although the power of the Tao was very weak, it was still the power of the Tao. It was very safe to deal with nascent soul experts. Otherwise, why would they be called emptiness realm experts? Lin Fei could see the quality of the 5 Tao Hearts. With a thought, these 5 Tao Hearts fell into Lin Fei's hands. Indeed, each of them had the power of the Tao. Lin Fei didn't choose to refine them. After all, the power of the Tao was too weak. Even if Lin Fei wanted to refine them, he would need the best Tao Heart. Of course, Lin Fei's Tao Heart was dispensable. As long as his physical body came up, he could use all kinds of abilities. There was nothing to be afraid of. Lin Fei gave it a try and fused 4 of the great Tao Hearts. Once the 4 Tao Hearts fused, Lin Fei instantly felt that the power increased a lot. No matter who it was, they would become much stronger in the future. Lin Fei also smiled. Such a great Tao Heart. If he brought it to the Chamber of Commerce, everyone would probably fight for it. Lin Fei put away the 2 Tao Hearts. He didn't plan to go to the Chamber of Commerce again. Otherwise, it would be easy for people to associate it. Lin Fei's eyes were on the Heavenly Demon Tree again. After all, the Heavenly Demon Tree seemed to have a much better effect than the Tao Heart. But after thinking about it, Lin Fei felt that it was better to wait. Anyway, he had been relying on the Tao Heart to recover a lot. He might as well wait for the second mission. Su Jinding seemed to have suffered a loss and didn't come looking for trouble with Lin Fei again. In the end, Lin Fei rejected both the Immortal Gang and the Heavenly Gate. This surprised the people who came forward. After all, this was the first time someone had rejected the Immortal Gang and the Elysium's recruitment. Not everyone could do such a thing. If he hadn't said it himself, they would have suspected that they had heard wrongly. There really was someone who dared to reject the recruitment. So he left in a huff. Before long, the news spread in the heaven-reaching church. When they heard the news, they were dumbfounded. That personal disciple Lin Fei actually missed such a good opportunity. If it were them, they would join even if they were beaten to death. Whether it was the Immortal Gang or the Elysium, joining either of them was enough to make them excited for an entire day. But now, he was rejected. It could only be said that this Lin Fei was really interesting. After Lin Fei refused, no one from the Immortal Gang and Elysium came. Even the other small gangs didn't come. Anyone could imagine that if they dared to reject the Immortal Gang and the Elysium, they would be oppressed in the future. A month passed in the blink of an eye, and in this month's time, Lin Fei did not come out at all. He had been in the palace the whole time. Lin Fei came to the place to accept the task again. This was the second time he had accepted an experience task, so he was quite looking forward to it. When he received this experience task, Lin Fei frowned slightly. Then, he returned to normal. He turned around and walked out of the place to accept the task. He returned to his palace. "Junior brother, you've gone too far. Someone must have done something. Otherwise, you wouldn't have accepted such a difficult task." As a little heavenly king, when Su Tianxing saw this task, his face changed. The task that Lin Fei had accepted this time was not a small task. It was a big task. This task required Lin Fei to break through to the insightful void realm within 3 years. Such an experience task really made Lin Fei a little depressed. It was no wonder that Su Tianxing would speak with a displeased expression. This was simply too difficult. It was not easy to break through the nascent soul realm and reach the insightful void realm within 3 years. Su Tianxing was indeed a little angry. This was clearly bullying. Lin Fei did not know who had done something to this experience task. Without a doubt, it was the Immortal Gang or the Elysium. Su Jinding was also possible. After all, Yi Dezhuang was his senior brother. It was hard to guarantee that he wouldn't do anything. Lin Fei chuckled. It's actually not too difficult to reach the insightful void realm within 3 years. Didn't you see the reward of 10,000 points? They really put in a lot of effort. That's right. This experience task was worth 10,000 points. Why did everyone like to become a personal disciple? It was because these 3 tasks could give a lot of points. The first task was a few hundred to 1,000 points. The second task was a few thousand to 10,000 points. The last task was the most difficult. Of course, under normal circumstances there were very few tasks that were this difficult. To use 3 years to break through to the insightful void realm was a good time for Lin Fei. He could use this time to study the heart of the Great Path. How could Lin Fei not see it? It was obvious that someone wanted him to lose his identity as a personal disciple of the Sky Reaching School. After all, he would be expelled from the Sky Reaching School if he failed 3 times. Therefore, it was not easy to become a disciple of the Sky Reaching School. After receiving the second task, Lin Fei did not hesitate. After such a long time, he quietly left the Sky Reaching Church. When Lin Fei left, someone noticed Lin Fei's departure. It was Northern Heaven Immortal of the Immortal Gang. Lin Fei doesn't even know who he offended. If it were me, I would definitely find a way to smooth things over. I didn't expect him to leave just like that. He thought he could reach the insightful void realm within 3 years. He thought too much. Northern Heaven Immortal shook his head and left. As the Holy Son of the Sky Reaching School, he knew better than anyone else what was going on. Someone was targeting Lin Fei. Lin Fei's performance was a bit outstanding, which naturally made people unhappy. After all, such a person had the chance to become a holy son in the future. Once he became a holy son, he would have a lot of competition. Therefore, it was not easy to become a holy son. The competition was fierce. After Lin Fei left the Sky Reaching School, he kept changing his appearance. In the end, he became an ordinary person. No one could recognize him. Lin Fei came to the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce again. After arriving at the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce, Lin Fei used the communication device. Humeili came to the inn immediately. She was very low-key. If it was not for the red robe, Lin Fei would not have recognized her. I didn't expect President Hu to be so low-key, said Lin Fei with a smile as soon as Humeili came in. Since you are also a low-key person, I must also be low-key. Otherwise, how can we cooperate? Humeili sat down. Chapter 4480. P.S. Thank you Yunsir for the tip. Humeili didn't expect it. How long had it been? This mysterious person had actually come again. During these days, Humeili did want to arrange for someone to investigate, but in the end, she suppressed this idea. If she really wanted to inquire about it, she had the confidence to do so. At this time, Humeili was glad that she had made the right choice. Her woman's intuition was right. This mysterious man came to find her again. Her subconscious told her that the discussion this time might be about the heart of Tao. Humeili herself was quite surprised as to why she would have such a thought. She understood that a woman's intuition had always been very sensitive. Therefore, when Humeili came, she couldn't help but be excited. If he really had the heart of Tao, it would be equivalent to cultivating an insightful emptiness realm expert. Even the weakest insightful emptiness realm expert was still an insightful emptiness realm expert. It wasn't easy to find one. This is the second time we've met. Can I know how I address you? I can't call you sir every time. If you feel embarrassed, I'll feel embarrassed too. After all, we're business partners, don't you think so? Humeili took the initiative to make a pot of tea for Lin Fei. She poured a cup full of tea. Lin Fei knew what Humeili was thinking. He smiled and said, I don't mind telling you my name. I'm Lin Fei. In the entire spirit realm, there were at least 4,000 or 5,000 of such common names. Therefore, Lin Fei wasn't worried at all. Even if Humeili knew, it wouldn't be a big deal. Lin Fei's current appearance was different. It couldn't be found or verified. Humeili had never heard of a powerful person named Lin Fei. She didn't know if this person was using a real name or a fake one. However, her subconscious instincts told her that the name given by this person might be the real one. This person was called Tian Fei. Taoist Lin, do you need any help this time? If you need anything, please let me know. The Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce is quite capable. Humeili didn't mention anything about the heart of Tao. Humeili really wanted to bring it up in her heart, but she chose to endure it. Lin Fei smiled and said, President Hu, since you know that I've come to find you, you must have a purpose. As for the abilities of your Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce, I've experienced it for myself. However, this time I plan to sell you something. I believe that you will be very interested in it. Humeili's heart skipped a beat. At this moment, Lin Fei knew. This woman was really smart. Humeili jumped for a moment before recovering. She knew that the other party must have found out. As the president of the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce, Humeili was very serious about her duties as the president. Basically, he would not reveal any trace of his emotions. However, he didn't expect his state of mind to fluctuate in front of this person. More importantly, this was only the second time he had met Lin Fei. They had only met twice. Humeili hurriedly put away her thoughts. Whatever fellow Taoist Lin is willing to take out, our Dark Nether Merchant Group will pay the absolute price to satisfy you. With a wave of his hand, Lin Fei took out the Heart of Tao. This Heart of Tao was stored in a special box and sealed. Therefore, it perfectly isolated the aura of the Tao. When the Heart of Tao was placed in front of her, Humeili really couldn't suppress her emotions. She stole a glance at Lin Fei before shifting her gaze to the Heart of Tao. Finally, she took a deep breath. Humeili knew that she was still a little inexperienced. She had seen the Heart of Tao in the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce. However, she had never thought that the Heart of Tao would be so close to her. Lin Fei observed silently. He felt that this Humeili was interesting. At first, Lin Fei felt that Humeili was a strong woman. However, as he observed more, he realized that this strong woman's mentality was a little weak. Facing the Heart of Tao, it was so easy for her to show emotions. This was something that had never happened before. It was clear that this Humeili still cared a lot about the Heart of Tao. This is the item that I want to sell. It's the real deal. I don't cheat anyone. I wonder if this item of mine is to your satisfaction, Great Beauty? This time around, Humeili was truly satisfied. Even though the other party called her a Great Beauty, Humeili didn't show any displeasure. Normally, as long as someone called her a Great Beauty, Humeili would definitely strike back coldly on the spot. She wouldn't show any courtesy to the other party. However, when facing Lin Fei, Humeili really didn't have such thoughts. She only felt that Lin Fei had come at the right time. It was like a timely rain. Her impression of him instantly soared. It was as though they were old friends who hadn't seen each other for many years. Although this Heart of Tao of yours is only a level 9 Heart of Tao, it's still a genuine Heart of Tao. I really like this Heart of Tao. May I know what you are looking for? Lin Fei wasn't very clear about the grades of the Heart of Tao. When he heard this, he became a little interested. So, the Heart of Tao has grades too. Interesting. Why don't you tell me about it? Humeili's gaze changed slightly, looking a little strange. After all, the grades of the Heart of Tao weren't considered some secret. Could it be that this Lin Fei was trying to test her? No, he was testing her. Humeili let her imagination run wild. The Heart of Tao that Lin Fei took out was the only one that hadn't been fused. To think that this was a level 9 Heart of Tao. Since there was a level 9 Heart of Tao, if it were to go up, it would probably be a level 8 Heart of Tao, a level 7 Heart of Tao, and a level 1 Heart of Tao. A series of questions popped up in Lin Fei's mind. As for Humeili, she smiled and explained. There are naturally grades for the Heart of Tao. The lowest grade is a level 9 Heart of Tao, and the highest is a level 1 Heart of Tao. Of course, above the level 1 Heart of Tao, there are some fused Hearts of Tao. The legendary King Heart, Emperor Heart, and even God Heart of Tao. I heard that any heart of Tao above the level 1 heart of Tao can only be obtained after countless fuses. There are no heart of Tao that is a top-notch existence right from the start. Of course there are, but there are too few of them. Practically every single one that appears will become a target for competition. Lin Fei listened on without batting an eyelid. He could be considered to have gained some understanding of the heart of Tao. There were actually King Heart of Tao, Emperor Heart of Tao, and God Heart of Tao. All of these had to be fused in order to be produced. He couldn't help but laugh in his heart. Looks like this Heart of Tao is still quite popular. Chapter 4481. After Hu Meili finished speaking, she also felt a little uneasy in her heart. She did not know what this Lin Fei was thinking, but if the other party had any dissatisfaction, whether or not she could successfully obtain this heart of great Tao would have a trace of uncertainty. From the bottom of her heart, Hu Meili did not wish for this kind of thing to happen. No matter what, she had to try her best to buy this heart of great Tao. Even if she had to pay a great price, it would be fine. Lin Fei picked up the teacup and smiled and took a sip. Then what price do you think you can offer me? If you satisfy me, then it's naturally easy to negotiate. If you're not satisfied, then this heart of great Tao is not fated with you. Although it's only a tier 9 heart of great Tao, it can also let an expert reach the void transformation realm. Lin Fei's words were somewhat mischievous. At least, it was still something that Hu Meili felt rather conflicted about. Hu Meili also did not know what kind of price she could offer. After hearing Lin Fei's words, her heart also somewhat sunk. If it was any other matter, then it would still be fine. But it just so happened that this matter was really hard to say. But no matter what, the heart of great Tao was placed in front of her. Then Hu Meili absolutely had to buy this heart of great Tao into her hands first. She absolutely could not miss it again. For Hu Meili to be able to become the president of the Dark Nether Merchant Group, her ability naturally did not need to be doubted. After pondering for a while, she finally understood what this Lin Fei wanted. Perhaps it might even be a fragment of the heart of great Tao and some aged heaven and earth medicinal herbs. Hu Meili remembered the incident last time very clearly. It could be said to be vivid in her mind. Hence, after pondering for a while, she also had a rough idea in her heart. This Lin Fei definitely wanted these things. It was really hard for Hu Meili to gather the other things. Although this thing was a little troublesome for their Dark Nether Merchant Group, it was still achievable. It was just that this price had to be raised. Hu Meili even realized that this should be a test question that the other party gave her. If she could answer this question well, perhaps there might even be more hearts of great Tao in the future. Thinking of this, Hu Meili's mood became somewhat excited. She did not expect that she could actually encounter such a great thing. This Lin Fei is really a good person. Hu Meili didn't try to guess why he had the heart of the great Tao. To her, it was enough as long as she had the heart of the great Tao. Everything else could be put aside. Lin Fei drank the tea in the cup unhurriedly. He knew that Hu Meili would definitely know. In fact, this was also a test that Lin Fei gave Hu Meili. If he did a good job with this case file, he would naturally have the heart of the great Tao in the future. Lin Fei also hoped to cooperate with this beautiful Hu Meili. In any case, the heart of Tao was going to be sold, so selling it to Hu Meili was no different from selling it to someone else. More importantly, Lin Fei could see that Hu Meili was quite ambitious. As for why she had such great ambitions, Lin Fei didn't know. This had nothing to do with him. He only wanted the great Tao core and the natural medicinal ingredient. It would be best if he could get some divine trees as well. It all depended on how Hu Meili gave this answer. Lin Fei laughed. You don't have to be in a hurry. Take your time to consider. I can give you 3 days to think about it. Hu Meili's heart sank again. She knew that this was really a test. Taoist Lin, 3 days is too long. As the president of the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce, I don't need to think for that long. I can give you an answer now. Humeili took a deep breath. She knew that if she was given 3 days to think about it, something might go wrong during this time. The final result would be that the heart of the great Tao would leave him. This was something that Humeili didn't want to see. It didn't matter at other times, but this was definitely not the time. Our Chamber of Commerce can take out 50,000 heart of the great Tao fragment. This is our limit. Apart from that, we can also give you 10 500,000-year-old natural medicinal ingredient. Of course, the most important thing is that we have a divine tree. Although it isn't very famous, it is still in the top 100 divine trees. This is the price that I can offer to Taoist Lin. Lin Fei knew that this Humeili wouldn't let him down. This answer scroll was not bad. He knew that it wasn't easy to obtain heart of the great Tao fragment. Not every Chamber of Commerce had that many in stock. It wasn't hard to imagine that the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce had probably collected 50,000 heart of the great Tao fragments for a long time. The natural medicinal ingredients were a little easier. Of course, what interested Lin Fei the most was this divine tree. It was actually in the top 100 divine trees. It seemed that this Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce knew a lot of things. They even knew about this divine tree. This was a lot better than other things. Humeili's heart was also a little uneasy. It was as if she was waiting for the verdict. This was the best thing that she could take out. Her palms started to sweat slowly. She had never been so nervous before. Although the person in front of her didn't look strong, he made Humeili feel a little move. This was a very difficult person to deal with. Congratulations. This is your second cooperation. There shouldn't be any problems. Lin Fei smiled and extended his hand. Humeili was momentarily dazed. Her eyes lit up and she also extended her hand to shake Lin Fei's. Just at this moment, there was a clang. The door was pushed open and a young man walked in. This was an imposing young man. His entire body was overbearing and invincible. Just one look at him would make one want to kneel down. What a good president to actually have a private meeting with someone here. I have learned a lot. The moment this person came over, a cold light shot towards Lin Fei. This cold light wasn't simple. It was obvious that it was a killing move. It looked like he was treating him like an ant that could be killed at will. Lin Fei raised his hand and grabbed the cold light with his 5 fingers. He gently squeezed and with a crack, it broke into pieces. Scram. This isn't a place for you to talk. He turned his hand and hit the cold light fragment back. A ring lit up around the young man's body. A path actually appeared and he directly blocked it. This made him a little surprised. I never thought that there would be an expert here. Interesting, really interesting. You even dare to meet my woman in private. You're dead. Humeili, who was at the side, was also anxious. Her face turned cold. Xiong Batian, what nonsense are you spouting? Who's your woman? This is my Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce's customer. Do you understand? Seeing that the transaction was about to succeed, she didn't expect to meet Xiong Batian. This made Humeili very worried. She also disliked Xiong Batian even more. Xiong Batian laughed out loud. Your customer, I think he's someone you're meeting in private. Chapter 4482. Get out, get out. You're not welcome here. Humeili pointed at the door and said coldly. Xiong Batian laughed. Get out? Why should I? Since he's a guest, I'm a guest too. What do you think? Unless your Dark Spirit Merchant Group wishes to continue operating in this area, otherwise, you should be clear about the consequences. Humeili was so angry that she was trembling. She knew Xiong Batian's background. He wasn't someone the Dark Spirit Trade Association could afford to offend. Lin Fei was here to cooperate with the Dark Spirit Trade Association. After all, the Dark Spirit Trade Association wasn't a big trade association, but it had a strong background. It had some foundation and could keep a low profile. He didn't expect something like this to happen at this time. The guy called Xiong Batian was actually quite capable. He had cultivated a great Tao at such a young age. No wonder Hu Mei was so afraid. Lin Fei could feel the murderous intent in his eyes. This kid wanted to kill him. The murderous intent was very obvious. I advise you to listen to this great beauty and obediently scram from here. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite, said Lin Fei with a faint smile. Because I hate it when people disturb me. Even though the person in front of him had cultivated a great Tao, in Lin Fei's eyes, it wasn't anything special. He didn't take it too seriously. Xiong Batian laughed again. Interesting, really interesting. It's rare to see someone who dares to talk to me like that. You're just a golden core cultivator. Even if you're at the peak of your golden core, you wouldn't dare. Xiong Batian took a step forward, and the circular great Tao behind him covered everything. The void around him turned into stone. It turned out that Xiong Batian's great Tao was the petrification great Tao. It was a very special great Tao. Within the range of this great Tao, anything would be petrified and all life would be stripped away. You can be proud of yourself for forcing me to use my petrification technique. Petrification rippled over continuously. Even the void was petrified. However, when it was about to reach Lin Fei, it was blocked by a layer of power. Only cracking sounds could be heard. Xiong Batian's petrifying power could not penetrate through and was blocked just like that. I don't think your Tao is that great. You can't even take care of me, a golden core cultivator. How dare you brag here? Lin Fei laughed. He raised his fist and punched out. Wherever the punch passed, the petrified Xiong Batian raised both his hands and blocked the punch. However, he was forced to take 3 steps back as a result. With every step he took, the ground beneath his feet cracked. After 3 steps, the entire place was in shambles. Xiong Batian's gaze changed as he stared coldly at Yi Futian. I didn't expect you to be so strong at the peak of the Golden Core realm. Interesting, very interesting. I, Xiong Batian, will remember you. After saying that, Xiong Batian turned around and left. Hu Mei heaved a sigh of relief after he left. He turned to Lin Fei and thanked him. Thank you, Tao friend Lin. Xiong Batian is a lunatic. I will definitely settle this matter today, and not let him find trouble with you. Hu Mei hated Xiong Batian to the core. Lin Fei smiled and shook his head. You won't be able to settle this matter. Based on this brat's mentality, he will definitely kill me. He hasn't made a move yet because he hasn't figured out my background. Once he does, he will make a move. No one can let him live after suffering a loss. Lin Fei had seen his fair share of people. Hence, this brat didn't make a move just now because he couldn't handle Yi Futian. He would either go back to investigate Yi Futian or call for reinforcements. Lin Fei was leaning towards the second option. Lin Fei's identity wasn't something that anyone could find out. Even if Xiong Batian had an impressive background, it wouldn't be easy. Hence, the possibility of him finding help was the highest, with a 90% chance of success. Oh yes, where did this brat come from? I think he's quite capable. He didn't even put your black nether chamber of commerce in his eyes. You're really a failure as the president of Black Nether Chamber of Commerce. Hu Mei also smiled bitterly and said, There's nothing we can do about it. This young Master Xiong Batian's background isn't small because his father is a Saint King Realm Master. That is, the Saint King Realm above the Void Transformation Realm. Think about how capable this Xiong Batian is. Lin Fei didn't expect that this young Master Xiong Batian's background would be so great. He turned out to be a Saint King Realm Master above the Void Transformation Realm. One had to know that not everyone could cultivate to the Saint King Realm successfully. If one wanted to become a Saint King Realm Master, one had to fuse 2 Grand Daos into a single principle. Only then could one become a Saint King Realm Master. Our Black Nether Chamber of Commerce used to be a force on Xiong Batian's side. Later on, we became independent. I didn't expect that Xiong Batian would chase after us. This time, I, Hu Mei, have implicated fellow Daoist Lin. I, Hu Mei, have truly let you down. Hu Mei said guiltily. Lin Fei couldn't help but laugh. I didn't expect President Hu to have such a suitor. With such a suitor, I don't think you need to open your black nether chamber of commerce anymore. Just follow him. It'll be much better than your current life. Hu Meili could also hear Lin Fei's ridicule. She wasn't angry. That Xiong Batian, even if I die, it's impossible for me to become his woman. Since Xiong Batian is here, then his master should also be here. While fellow Taoist Lin hasn't set his eyes on you yet, it's better for you to leave here first to avoid any worries. Hu Meili was really thinking for Lin Fei's sake. Xiong Batian's background wasn't small, and Hu Meili was well aware of it. This time, Xiong Batian was most likely here because of her. Lin Fei didn't really care. So what if Xiong Batian was strong? Moreover, he could see that there was something wrong with Xiong Batian. Actually, there's no need to be afraid. Xiong Batian wouldn't kill me so easily. Who knows, he might even beg me later. Lin Fei laughed. Hu Meili was filled with question marks. At this moment, Xiong Batian's face was gloomy and even a little crazy. Xiong Batian knew that this person was most likely Hu Meili's client. However, Xiong Batian wanted to let Hu Meili know that even if it was a client, it was up to him. Eliminating a few clients would also let him know that not everyone could reject the woman that he, Xiong Batian, fancied. Immediately go and find those people for me. Isn't this kid just a little capable? Let's see how long he can last. Xiong Batian was indeed a little fearful. To be able to resist his great Tao of petrification, this wasn't something that just anyone could do. Therefore, he decided to find a few experts to slowly play with him. It was really rare to see someone with such backbone. Chapter 4483. Young master, this kid is out. It seems like he wants to escape. Hu Meili is also leading the way. Xiong Batian was sitting in the opposite inn. His subordinate saw Lin Fei coming out. Of course, Hu Meili was there too. Her red robe was the easiest to recognize. Xiong Batian smiled coldly. I thought this kid was brave. I didn't expect him to be so cowardly. It seems like he is prepared to leave. Did he ask me? Xiong Batian's face was very pale. He had suffered a small loss. His petrification could freeze anyone, let alone a golden core cultivator. But this guy was terrifyingly strong. He was even more certain that he was a golden core cultivator. To be able to break his petrification, such a person must have a powerful background. Do you want me to bring people to stop him? His subordinate asked softly. Xiong Batian took a sip of tea and waved his hand. No need. Let's follow him. I want to see where he can escape to. It's better to fight outside when there are fewer people. I can't say that I bullied him with numbers. Xiong Batian wasn't old. He was only a few hundred years old. That's right. A few hundred years old. His potential was also very powerful. He had already cultivated a great Tao and was an insightful emptiness realm expert. Xiong Batian stood up and chased with his subordinate. Tao friend Lin, where are we going? Hu Meili had been following Lin Fei out, and she had some doubts in her heart. Lin Fei smiled and said, of course it's to give him a place to make his move. Don't you think that there are too many people there? If we really fight, a lot of people will die. After all, I love peace, so it's better to fight somewhere else. Hu Meili burst into laughter. Her smile was as bright as a flower. This was the first time she heard such words. As a cultivator, Hu Meili was used to life and death. It was rare to see someone like Lin Fei speaking like that. She was surprised and felt that Lin Fei was getting more and more interesting. If you can't find a suitable place to fight, why don't you go to the Hades illusion? That place is deserted and quiet. Netherworld fantasy? Lin Fei furrowed his brows. It sounds like a dangerous place. Hu Meili smiled and said, yes, it is a dangerous place. However, this 9U illusory realm is not dangerous at all. The dangers inside have all been cleared by someone. Now it is just a small training field. Alright, let's go to the 9th Hell illusory realm. You lead the way. Xiong Batian followed behind unhurriedly. Young master, they should be heading towards the Nine Nether Illusory Realm. Could it be that the Nine Nether Illusory Realm has this kid's helpers? Xiong Batian said disdainfully. What kind of helpers can this brat have? Even if he has helpers, so what? Don't tell me that I don't have subordinates? Are you kidding me? None of the people I, Xiong Batian, have ever lived to see the sun on the second day. The Netherworld Illusory Realm was indeed a huge illusory realm. The illusions inside had basically been broken by someone. After entering, Lin Fei felt that this place was quite big. It was the perfect time to strike. Thus, he simply stopped. Let's just wait here for them to come. Just here. Humeli looked at the surrounding empty space. If we were to really fight, this place is a little unsuitable. It doesn't matter. What I want is for this place to be empty. This way, no one will pay attention to us. Don't you think so? Humeli was even more confused about what Lin Fei was trying to do. Do you really intend to fight with Xiong Batian? I heard that Xiong Batian has a Sage King's treasure with him. It is extremely powerful and can kill insightful emptiness realm expert. Lin Fei laughed. I have already told you that I like peace. Why would I fight to the death with him? I just want to chat with him about some things. Chat about some things? Humeli didn't dare to believe it. In the end, she kept her thoughts to herself. She intended to see what the situation would be like in the end. In less than 10 minutes, Xiong Batian came down with his subordinate. Compared to before, there were 2 more old men behind him. These 2 old men were calm and their eyes were cold. No trace of emotion could be seen. However, when their eyes fell on Lin Fei, their murderous intent intensified. Run. Why aren't you running anymore? Humeli, you really know how to choose a place. I think this place is not bad. Why don't we make it more convenient and have some fun here? Xiong Batian laughed. At the same time, the people behind him took out a flagpole. Instantly, layers of ripples appeared in the Nine Nether Illusory Realm, forming a formation. Humeli, who was at the side, was a little anxious when she saw the formation. Not good. This is the Daluo Heaven formation. It can isolate everything and form an independent vacuum zone. This is bad. Humeli was still very knowledgeable. Therefore, she could recognize that this was the Daluo Heaven formation. It was also a very powerful formation. It seemed that Xiong Batian had brought this formation out. If it was an ordinary person, they really wouldn't be able to do it. Lin Fei could naturally see that this formation was very ordinary. It was no wonder that this guy was so confident to follow them. He even brought 2 insightful void experts with him. It seemed that they were in the late insightful void realm. This young master Xiong Batian really had a great background. The Sage King's father actually arranged for such experts to follow him. It was enough for him to do whatever he wanted in the spiritual realm. Xiong Batian, you're so despicable. Since you're following us, aren't you afraid of embarrassing your father, the Sage King? Humeli also knew how to play tricks. Xiong Batian's face turned slightly cold. After all, if this matter with someone and a little golden core expert were to spread, it would indeed be embarrassing for his father. Shut up. So what if I'm bullying the weak? There's no one else here. I also have the Daluo Heaven formation. Do you think anyone else will come and save you? Only the heavens, the earth, and me know. Do you think anyone else will know? Lin Fei looked at Xiong Batian indifferently. I didn't expect you to really come. It seems that you found help and 2 insightful void experts? But do you really think you can deal with me? Xiong Batian took a step forward and laughed out loud. It's you. Previously, I just didn't go all out. Now I'll let you see what regret is. The 2 insightful void old men at the side immediately attacked. As soon as they attacked, Lin Fei felt that the great Tao of these 2 was very powerful. The great Tao of one of them was a little fierce. It turned out to be void corrosion. It was very powerful. It broke the body. There was a crackling sound in the void. As for the other old man's great Tao, it was a little special. It could actually instantly suck out a part of the energy of heaven and earth. Even a part of Lin Fei's body was sucked out. It was indeed an eye-opener. They really doted on him to the bone. Ordinary people really didn't have this ability. Chapter 4484. The two powerhouses that Xiong Batian brought were indeed very powerful. Lin Fei felt a great deal of pressure when he made his move. One was a corrosive great path, and the other was a great path that drained energy. No matter which one it was, they were both very powerful. Especially now that they were working together. No one would be able to take it. When Humeili saw this scene, she broke out in a cold sweat. The powerhouses that Xiong Batian brought were really too powerful. She would not be a match for any one of them, let alone two of them working together. Chairman Hu, you will see him being tortured to death by my subordinates later. Don't worry, I will keep him alive. I will let him know that anyone who gets close to you will not have a good ending. Xiong Batian snorted coldly. With these two elite subordinates, he was not afraid that this lad would survive. Both of them had cultivated a great Tao. However, this great Tao was no ordinary great Tao. Based on their calculations, it could be a 7th-level great path. Therefore, this lad would not be able to take it no matter what he was capable of. Xiong Batian did not attack. He wanted to see what else this lad could do to withstand the attacks of his two subordinates. Lin Fei seemed to be under some pressure, but in fact, he was not. The corrosive great path did not even manage to penetrate the surface of his body before it was taken down. After all, Yi Xian's body was not that easy to break. As for the other one that drained energy, it was not a taboo. If it was an ordinary person, draining a portion of energy from their body would indeed affect their strength. But the energy in Lin Fei's body was indeed a little more vigorous. Therefore, it could not be drained at all. After a series of attacks, the two were a little surprised. They looked at each other. Surprisingly, they did not let this lad lose. Instead, he looked like he was fine. They could not help but feel a little anxious. They had patted their chests and promised to take down this lad. When the time came, they would bring him to their young master and teach him a lesson. This was a little different from what they had imagined. Therefore, they attacked even more violently. They even drained energy 3 times in a row. The old man's face was a little pale. As for the other, he had pushed the great Tao of corrosion to the limit, but it still seemed like he was unable to cause any harm to Lin Fei. I don't think the people you brought are good. This can't even be considered a warm-up exercise. Lin Fei shook his head slightly. His figure flickered and instantly broke through the corrosive path. With a single punch, there were hundreds of punches in the air. It landed on the two of them. Both of them activated their great path defenses, but as soon as they were activated, cracking sounds could be heard. Then, the two of them were sent flying. The two of you only have some ability in the great Tao. But against me, you are a little lacking. You should be glad that I am still in a good mood. Otherwise, they wouldn't be like this. Lin Fei smiled at Xiong Batian. Didn't you say that you weren't satisfied yet? Then let's have a good fight. He threw a punch. Xiong Batian blocked. In the end, a huge palm appeared and landed on Xiong Batian's body. Then, a knee landed on Xiong Batian's body. Xiong Batian was sent flying. A ball of power kept exploding in his body. Then, Lin Fei appeared behind him. He clenched his fist and there was a loud rumbling sound. Xiong Batian was smashed into the ground. The ground cracked. The two old men had just gotten up when they saw an invisible sword light sweep over. They were sent flying. Even if they were great Tao experts, they weren't a match for Lin Fei at this moment. Lin Fei's foundation was too strong, and it wasn't something they could fight against. Lin Fei grabbed Xiong Batian from the ground again. He casually picked it up and knocked it on the ground like a stick, again and again. So what if you brought subordinates? In my eyes, you are just that. You are amazing to have cultivated a great Tao, and you are amazing to have a strong father. In my eyes, you are nothing. There was another loud rumbling sound. The surroundings had become extremely messy, and even Humeili couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. Her beautiful eyes were filled with surprise. She never thought that Lin Fei, who looked like a golden core, would be so terrifyingly strong. It was really unbelievable that a golden core expert could beat a great Dao expert. She couldn't believe it was true. When did such a super expert appear in the spiritual world? That's right. If such a person wasn't a super expert, then what was he? If he entered the nascent soul realm, he wouldn't just be able to kill great Dao experts. Xiong Batian didn't know how many times he had been attacked. He was completely exhausted and laid on the ground, looking up at the sky. He had never felt that he had lost so quickly and in such a pathetic manner. Even his life was in the hands of his opponent. But why was his opponent just a guy at the peak of the golden core? Why was that? This was the most difficult thing for Xiong Batian to accept. You will definitely regret attacking me like this. I will definitely gather experts to tear you into pieces. Even at this time, Xiong Batian was still very arrogant. Of course, he was a little guilty, but he couldn't let go of his pride. Yi Xiaolong kicked Xiong Batian's body again. This guy smashed down heavily in an arc. The ground caved in again. Half of his body had sunk into the ground. Lin Fei came in front of him unhurriedly. To be honest, it would be a waste of time to kill someone like you. You should be glad that you met me. If you didn't meet me, you wouldn't be able to live for long. Lin Fei chuckled. Xiong Batian, who was originally angry, suddenly changed his expression. He seemed to have heard something. Nonsense. How can I not be alive? No one in the spiritual world dares to kill me unless they are willing to offend my father. Lin Fei squatted down and patted Xiong Batian's face. Are you sure? You brat, I'm not saying that you can only live for half a year at most. By then, you will be dead. If it was someone else who said this, Xiong Batian might not believe it. But Xiong Batian had to consider this person's words. Could it be that he really couldn't save his life? If you're not sure, then I can remind you that you only have half a year left to live. No, that's not right. After fighting with me just now, I estimate that you only have 2 or 3 months left. If you don't believe me, you can take a look for yourself. Humeili was also surprised. Chapter 4485. Xiong Batian didn't really believe it at first, but now he was a little hesitant. It seemed like there was no need for this person to lie to him. If he wanted to kill him with his strength, it would be a piece of cake. But if he wanted to use underhanded methods, then there was no need. I guess you still have doubts in your heart. After all, my words sound like I'm trying to trick you. But you can try. Lin Fei smiled and said, this method of testing is quite simple. If you don't know, I can teach you one. I guarantee that you will know the condition of your body. Xiong Batian hesitated for a moment. I'll believe you this time. If you dare to lie to me, I have a sage ruler's treasure in my hands. I will definitely make you suffer. This was Xiong Batian's only source of confidence. Other than the sage ruler's treasure, there was really nothing else that could defeat this person. Then listen carefully. I'll pass on a little technique to you now. See for yourself if your life will be affected. Lin Fei said word by word. He was neither hurried nor slow. It was only a few hundred words, but it was filled with a mysterious aura. Be it Humeili or Xiong Batian, they were in disbelief and finally understood. This person really had a powerful background. A secret technique like this was really valuable. More importantly, not many people could master it. Lin Fei had a lot of secret techniques like this. So what if he took one out? Xiong Batian was stunned again. Then he started to comprehend this technique. In just a short time, he had completely mastered it. He started to check on his condition. His face was originally pale, but then it turned a little black. Finally, it turned green and his entire face was filled with anger. Despicable fella, someone actually dared to lay a hand on me. Xiong Batian roared. Through this technique, Xiong Batian could see the situation clearly. He had indeed been schemed against and he didn't know. That was the hardest thing to accept. Xiong Batian did not have any doubts. Even he didn't have a technique like this. Even his father couldn't find a technique like this. However, this person was able to casually take it out. It could be imagined that he should have many such techniques. Do you believe me now? You were indeed schemed against. There's no helping it. People like you have many brothers and sisters. It's hard to guarantee that you won't be schemed against. Fortunately, you met me. Otherwise, you'd be dead. Xiong Batian suddenly struggled to get up. Senior, save me, save me. I only have 2 months left. If you don't save me, I will really die. Xiong Batian was very clear that he must have been schemed against by his siblings. As for how he was schemed against, he had no idea at all. Right now, he was in a very bad situation. He didn't have much lifespan left. He only had 2 months left. That was the worst part. 2 months was neither long nor short, but it could pass in the blink of an eye. Xiong Batian could not find a way to break his technique. Because he only had 2 months left to live, and the person in front of him could see that. Xiong Batian naturally hoped to get help from the other party. Lin Fei chuckled, now you know fear. I'm just reminding you that I can't do anything about your lifespan. Xiong Batian instantly felt a little desperate. He had pinned all his hopes on the other party. Senior, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. Please save me. As long as you can save me, I'm willing to give you everything I have without hesitation. In order to survive, Xiong Batian went all out. As for going back to find his siblings, he definitely wouldn't be able to find them. To be able to steal his lifespan without anyone noticing, it was naturally not something that he could easily track down. Even if he cried to his father, it would be useless. His father, as a Saint King Realm Master, never cared about such trivial things. He even encouraged brothers and sisters to fight against each other. Just like raising a gu, the most powerful one in the end would inherit everything. Xiong Batian knew this since he was very young, so it was useless for him to go back. He would be ridiculed as a waste. Right now, the only person worthy of his help was the person in front of him. Perhaps this person had a way. This was his only chance. Lin Fei didn't expect Xiong Batian to be so quick-witted. He immediately understood. He was indeed a little interested in this Xiong Batian. The other party was the son of a Saint King Realm Master. In this spirit world, Lin Fei didn't mind leaving a few more clues. And this Xiong Batian was a very good choice. Humeli, who was behind him, didn't expect Xiong Batian to be schemed against. The son of a Saint King Realm Master only had 2 months left to live. She didn't even dare to think about it. In particular, the other party was a Paradise Realm Master who had cultivated a great Tao. Therefore, Humeli was even more curious about this person called Lin Fei. It was as if he was shrouded in a mysterious veil. Like this veil, Humeli very much wanted to uncover it and see what this person's origins were. I really can't help you. After all, I don't have much lifespan left. Even if you take out something, it may not be to my liking. Xiong Batian wasn't stupid. As the son of a Saint King, his mind was quite sharp. He immediately understood what was going on. I don't know what Senior wants. As long as you want it, I will definitely help you get it. I'm not good at many things, but I have a wide network. Who doesn't give me face? If you don't believe me, you can ask President Hu. At this time, Xiong Batian even changed the way he addressed her. He didn't dare to directly call the other party Humeli. Humeli nodded and spoke for Xiong Batian. What he said is right. In terms of connections, even I am not as good as Xiong Batian. He knows more secrets than I do. If fellow Taoist Lin has any problems, you can ask him. He definitely won't let you down. Xiong Batian breathed a sigh of relief. He was secretly glad that he hadn't completely offended this Humeli. Otherwise, if she said a few bad things about him, all his previous efforts would have been in vain. Lin Fei really liked this Xiong Batian. It was good to have a quick mind. Although Lin Fei had obtained a lot of Tao heart fragments in this dark nether chamber of commerce, it was still too little. It was far from meeting Lin Fei's requirements. Therefore, he had to obtain more Tao heart fragments. Then, if I want to make Tao heart fragments as well as heaven and earth herbs that are hundreds of thousands of years old, do you have any way to get them? Chapter 4486. Xiong Baishan's brain reacted quickly. If he didn't react quickly, he might not have a chance at all. So Senior wants the Tao heart fragment and mature world herbs. That's easy, that's easy. Xiong Batian nodded repeatedly. How could there be any hesitation? The more he hesitated, the worse the situation would be. Give me 5 days, no, give me 3 days. I'll get you the Tao heart fragment and world herbs. Xiong Batian seemed to be afraid that Lin Fan would go back on his word, so he hurriedly said. Lin Fei said, All right, I'll wait for you in this black nether chamber of commerce. When you bring the things here, as long as I'm satisfied, I'll think of some ways to extend your life. At least you won't die in 2 months. The sun is very beautiful and the spiritual world is very interesting. What do you think? Xiong Batian nodded repeatedly, turned around and left. Fellow Taoist Lin, your methods are really impressive. Xiong Batian is the son of a Saint King realm, but I didn't expect him to be scared by you so easily. Now he's even helping you search for things. Are you looking down on our black nether chamber of commerce? Humeili walked over, revealing a charming smile. Lin Fei laughed. Isn't it because your black nether chamber of commerce is afraid that you can't take it out, so you can only ask someone else? If you can take it out, then we'll naturally have a deal. Lin Fei didn't say it too clearly. He believed that Humeili would definitely understand. As expected, after Lin Fei said this, Humeili's expression changed a little. It was indeed a little different. Humeili was a smart woman, so of course she could tell. She didn't expect that this Lin Fei really needed the Tao heart fragment and world herbs again. Could it be that this fellow is really studying the fragment of the heart of great Tao? No one would dare to do such a thing. He had already negotiated with him, yet he actually wanted even more fragments of the heart of the great Tao. This person was too mysterious. Then I'll try my best to help you collect them in the next 3 days. What do you think? Lin Fei smiled. With a great beauty helping me collect the fragments of the great Tao heart, I naturally have no objections. However, I will have to stay at your dark spirit merchant group for 3 days. You won't find it troublesome, right? Humeili shook her head. Of course it's no trouble at all. You are an esteemed guest. Even I feel honored to have you come to our dark nether chamber of commerce. Humeili really hoped that Lin Fei could stay in their dark nether chamber of commerce for a few days. Only such a distinguished guest could be kept. More importantly, Lin Fei still had a Tao heart in his possession. He had to get it. Now that he had the fragment of the great Tao core, he had to collect the worldly medicinal ingredient. Just like that, Lin Fei moved into the dark spirit merchant group. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. The first to arrive was Humeili. She had finally collected the Tao core fragment, as well as the medicinal ingredient. He did not expect the beauty to be so fast. 50,000 fragments of the great Tao core, 10 500,000-year-old herbs, and even a divine tree. As soon as Humeili came in, Lin Fei felt it. Even the tree of life was rippling. He also rejoiced that he came to the right place. This Humeili indeed had her own ideas. Her speed of doing things was also quite fast. 50,000 fragments of the great Tao core could really condense quite a number of great Tao cores. Moreover, it could carry out continuous fusion. This was what Lin Fei was interested in. A Tier 9 great Tao core was really useless. Those that could be taken out had to be fused more than a few times. That was the best. Unlike the 2 experts by Xiong Baishan's side, they had definitely passed this great Tao more than once. Hence, this allowed Lin Fei to see the unusualness of this fused great Tao core. If this fused into a Tier 1 great Tao core, it would definitely be priceless. Humeli also spent a very long time to gather all these things. After all, the time was too short. If she was given a little more time, it would definitely be easier than it was now. Fortunately, she had finally completed the mission this time. Humeli had been thinking about this Tier 9 Great Tao Core constantly. Tao friend Lin, the things that you wanted, I have gathered them for you. Take a look yourself. Humeli took out a storage ring and placed it in front of Lin Fei. Lin Fei casually glanced at it. I am very satisfied with the things that you have gathered. It seems like this cooperation is quite enjoyable. Lin Fei also took out the Great Tao Core and handed it to Humeli. Humeli carefully received it. It was genuine and honest. She heaved a sigh of relief and quickly kept it. Thank you, Tao friend Lin. You have brought such a good thing for our Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce. I thank you on behalf of the entire Chamber of Commerce. Although a Tier 9 Great Tao Core was nothing. However, such a Great Tao Core was something that many people dreamed of. Many nascent soul realm experts couldn't break through because they couldn't cultivate a Great Tao Core. However, if one had a complete Great Tao Core, they could casually refine it and become an insightful emptiness realm expert. Not only would their lifespan increase, but their strength would also increase. Their future potential would be limited, but they would still be an insightful emptiness realm expert. If they obtained another Great Tao Core, they could still fuse it. They could still find a way out in the future. After Lin Fei received the storage item, he didn't absorb it immediately. Instead, he put it away. Because there was still one person who didn't appear, and that was Xiong Batian. The agreement was for 3 days. Today was the 3rd day. It was time to see if Xiong Batian would come. As he waited, it was almost afternoon. Humeli brought over dishes. They were all exquisite and could be considered the specialty of this place. Tao friend Lin, will Xiong Batian not come? Humeli said. Lin Fei leisurely tasted the delicacies. To be honest, the food tasted good. At least Lin Fei liked it. Xiong Batian will definitely come because he really only has 2 months to live. Do you think he won't come? This time, Lin Fei was sure to eat Xiong Batian. Unless he really didn't care about his 2 months of life. As long as he wanted to continue living, he would definitely come. When the time came, he would regret it. As expected. In the evening, Xiong Batian came. However, when Humeli saw Xiong Batian, she was a little surprised and even a little shocked. How did you end up like this? It turned out that Xiong Batian was in a sorry state. Even his complexion had deteriorated. It seemed like he didn't have 2 months left and was on the verge of death. Senior, you have to save me. I've already brought you the item. If you don't save me, I'm really done for. I only have 3 days left to live. Xiong Batian knelt down with a plop the moment he came over and cried out in disappointment. Even if Humeli was beside him, it was the same. Xiong Batian presented the ring with both hands. Chapter 4487. Xiong Batian was indeed in a sorry state. It was as though he had been ambushed, and even his life force was extremely weak. Humeli might not be able to tell, but Lin Fei could see it clearly. This Xiong Batian was definitely ambushed, and it might even be one of his brothers and sisters. What a pitiful fellow. Looks like you're quite trustworthy. You came back in 3 days. If you were half a minute late, I would have left. Lin Fei smiled. Xiong Batian hurriedly said, the things are all in the ring. Senior, please take a look. This is the best I can do. I believe you will be satisfied. Xiong Batian did not dare to guarantee anything. He did not expect to be ambushed when he went back to collect things. In the end, he finally managed to break out of the encirclement, but instead, he felt the taste of death. This feeling of death was getting closer and closer to him, and there was even a deathly aura around him. This deathly aura was very obvious, and this made Xiong Batian even more afraid and anxious. He was very careful along the way. Finally, he arrived at the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce and saw Senior Lin Fei. He could finally heave a sigh of relief. He was afraid that if he was late, the other party would leave, and he would really be dead. Lin Fei picked up the ring, and wanted to see how capable this Xiong Batian was to be able to get what he wanted for him. Even though he had obtained 50,000 fragments of the great Tao heart from Hu Meili and some natural herbs, it was still too little for Lin Fei. If Lin Fei wanted to have a stronger great Tao heart, he would have to keep fusing and fusing. Therefore, he needed a huge number. When he sent his spiritual sense into the ring, Lin Fei secretly took in a breath of cold air. He was a little shocked by this fellow. Good heavens, he actually took out so many fragments of the great Tao heart. This fellow couldn't have dug out a few forbidden areas, right? It turned out that there were a total of 100,000 fragments of the great Tao heart. There were all sorts of them. Apart from that, he also saw the natural herbs. The natural herbs were all at least 100,000 years old. There were 20 to 30 that were 100,000 to 1,000,000 years old. And there were actually as many as 10 that were more than 1,000,000 years old, which was quite a lot more than Hu Meili. After all, medicinal herbs that were tens of thousands of years old to hundreds of thousands of years old naturally had different effects. Those that were over 1,000,000 years old could be counted on one's fingers. Not everyone could get their hands on it. Even if one wanted to buy it, one would need a huge sum of middle or upper rank spirit stones. Lin Fei knew that he did not have the ability to get his hands on it. This time, he really admired Xiong Batian. Sure enough, he was capable. Apart from these two things, what interested Lin Fei the most was, this guy actually put a piece of wood in the ring. This piece of wood was not very long, only about 2 meters or so, and it gave off an ancient aura. However, to Lin Fei, this piece of wood filled Lin Fei with excitement. It was actually a piece of heavenly divine wood, and it was a complete one at that. It had not been refined at all. This was what made Lin Fei the most excited. From the start, he never thought that Xiong Batian would be able to get him the original version of heavenly divine wood. Although Lin Fei had obtained quite a few items refined from the sky-piercing divine wood, these sky-piercing divine woods had all lost their original power. It had become completely different, and now this original piece of heavenly divine wood was the most original, and there were no changes at all. He did not know who collected it back then. This heavenly divine wood was better than other things. This was what Lin Fei cared about the most, and even the tree of life showed some fluctuations. It seemed that this Xiong Batian really did something right for once. At this moment, Xiong Batian was feeling uneasy. For this item, he had spent a lot of effort and in the end, he was ambushed. It was not easy for him to escape to this dark spirit chamber of commerce, and he was almost completely finished. He could not hold on any longer. His lifespan was not long now, so at this time, he was more looking forward to it than anyone else, and more nervous than anyone else. What if this thing was not enough? Xiong Batian had never cared so much before. In the past, Xiong Batian did not need to worry at all. But now, he had no choice but to worry, because if he was not careful, he would really die here. His bright future would be completely gone, and he did not even have the chance to seek revenge on his brothers and sisters. Although he did not know which of his brothers and sisters did it, Xiong Batian more or less knew something about the situation. Maybe it was one of them? This time, the items you took were not bad and still caught my eye, especially the last piece of heavenly divine wood. You are quite capable, kid. Lin Fei smiled. This smile gave Xiong Batian a chance to heave a sigh of relief. He was not afraid of anything else, but he was afraid that Lin Fei would say that he was not satisfied with the item, and then he would be completely hopeless. Senior, it's good that you like it. I also got the heavenly divine wood from somewhere else, and it was not easy. Xiong Batian did not dare to be complacent at this time. Seeing that you're so diligent, I'll give you a hand. The answer that Xiong Batian took out was indeed quite satisfactory to Lin Fei. Naturally, he did not mind helping Xiong Batian. As for whether Xiong Batian could live longer in the future, it would naturally depend on Xiong Baishan's ability. Lin Fei flicked his finger, and a few water droplets instantly fell into Xiong Baishan's body. Xiong Batian did not resist at all, and in the blink of an eye, his entire body looked much better. Even the deathly aura on his body disappeared in the blink of an eye. Even Hu Meili, who was standing at the side, was very shocked. Such a huge change was simply unbelievable. Furthermore, it was done by the hands of a young man, and she almost screamed out loud. Fortunately, she managed to control herself in the end. Xiong Batian also exclaimed in surprise, "Finally, I can no longer feel the deathly aura in my body, I can finally live for a long time." Xiong Batian had never been so happy. Originally, he had already felt the deathly aura. The deathly aura had disappeared completely. Even his injuries seemed to have recovered. Don't be too happy too early, your current lifespan is only 10 years, after 10 years, you will still die, unless you break through and become a Saint King Master, otherwise there is no hope. Lin Fei's words were like a basin of cold water poured over Xiong Baishan's head. It made his whole heart feel cold. Xiong Batian was so happy just now that he really forgot that his lifespan was limited, and it was impossible for him to break through to the Saint King realm. His whole face immediately fell. But in the blink of an eye, he recovered. "Senior, you have great divine ability, if I can help you obtain these things, then can you let me live longer?" Xiong Batian was not afraid of losing face at this time. Chapter 4488. Xiong Baishan's reaction was indeed fast because he was a smart person. He knew that if he wanted to extend his lifespan, he might have to rely on this senior in front of him. Otherwise, he would definitely die. He knew that things that could increase one's lifespan were extremely rare. Pitifully few. Even his father might not have much on hand. Even if he had it, he would not take it out easily, let alone buy it elsewhere. In any auction, as long as these treasures of life appeared, it would definitely cause people to act like fools, and it might even cause a storm of carnage. This kind of thing was not unheard of, but it was very common. Although Xiong Baishan's father was a Saint King, and his father was an expert among Saint Kings, it was impossible for him to obtain life energy. But this person in front of him had mysterious means, and in the blink of an eye, he had gained 10 years of lifespan. 10 years, he did not dare to imagine. It felt good to be alive. Therefore, Xiong Batian knew very well what he should do. "I'm a little tired now. When I come out, I'll have a good chat with you. Think about what to tell me." Lin Fei naturally did not intend to waste time after obtaining the fragment of the great Tao heart, the heaven and earth herbs, and the most important divine wood. In the spiritual world, danger was everywhere, and improving one's strength was the best guarantee. Xiong Batian did not dare to ask any more and left obediently. Even Hu Meili did the same. "Taoist Lin, if you have any instructions, please don't hesitate to tell me." Hu Meili and Xiong Batian left, not daring to stay in the courtyard. "President Hu, I'm really sorry for what happened before. I won't pester you anymore. People like me are not qualified." Xiong Batian also learned to bow his head at this time. He did not know what kind of relationship Hu Meili had with Senior Lin, but he had to admit that Senior Lin had a good impression of Hu Meili. Xiong Batian took out a box of pills. "This is a small token of my appreciation. Take it as my apology. I hope President Hu doesn't mind." When Hu Meili saw the box and smelled a trace of fragrance, she could not help but be shocked. This was a good pill. Even if you had the money, you wouldn't necessarily be able to buy it. Only saint rulers would have it. Who would have thought that Xiong Batian would be willing to give it to him? Hu Meili didn't have a good impression of Xiong Batian, but her impression of him changed a lot because of this gift. She knew that Xiong Batian had something to ask of her. Thus, he accepted the gift without hesitation. If he didn't accept it, Xiong Batian would probably be unable to eat or sleep well. Xiong Batian indeed had such thoughts. As long as Hu Meili didn't accept it, she would feel a little upset. Fortunately, Humeli finally accepted it, so there was nothing to worry about. President Hu, it's all thanks to you this time. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't even know when I would have died. I hope we can cooperate well in the future. Xiong Batian was indeed very grateful to Humeli. If not for this matter, how would he have known that he had been schemed against? He even accidentally got to know such a powerful senior. Up till now, Xiong Batian still couldn't tell the origins of this senior. This senior was truly a little mysterious. At the same time, in the room, Lin Fei set up a series of techniques. It could be seen that the power in the room was hidden in the void for a long time. If someone came in at this time, they would definitely be killed instantly. Even an insightful emptiness realm expert wouldn't stand a chance, unless it was Tian Dongshu. They might be able to hold on for a while, but other experts would definitely die if they came in. This was also one of Lin Fei's trump cards. He really wasn't afraid that someone would barge in. Moreover, this was the Dark Spirit Trade Association. He believed that Humeli would definitely arrange for people to keep an eye on this place. Initially, I thought it would take a long time to get the heavenly wood. I didn't expect it to be so easy. This Xiong Batian really has a background. These few drops of heavenly water of life were not wasted at all. Among these items, the heavenly wood was Lin Fei's favorite. It was definitely a really good item. Therefore, Lin Fei immediately let the Tree of Life refine the heavenly wood. From start to finish, it only took half an hour's time. This section of the heavenly wood was completely refined. The benefits were obvious. First, the Tree of Life had grown a lot taller, and its leaves were luxuriant. More importantly, it was producing more and more heavenly water of life. Originally, it was only a few dozen drops. Now, it had broken through to 200 drops. In other words, it could produce 200 drops of heavenly water of life a day. This was definitely a huge improvement. Looks like I still underestimated the heavenly wood's effect on the Tree of Life. It actually increased the production of heavenly water of life by a lot. It reached 200 drops in one go. That's a bit scary. This was beyond Lin Fei's expectations. Being able to produce 200 drops of heavenly water of life a day would accumulate to a terrifying number over time. Whether it was in a fight or at any time, it could keep Lin Fei in peak condition. This kind of gain was definitely worth it. After refining the heavenly wood, Lin Fei began to refine the Heart of Tao fragment. Compared to other items, the Heart of Tao fragment was quite promising. However, its effects were much worse than the heavenly wood. The Tree of Life had also grown a lot taller. This did not increase the heavenly water of life. It only strengthened Lin Fei's foundation. His fleshly body had also become much stronger. Of course, the most important thing was the Heart of Tao condensed on the Tree of Life. In total, he had produced more than 2,000 Heart of Tao from 150,000 Heart of Tao fragment. Of course, they were all Tier 9 Heart of Tao. To Lin Fei, these Heart of Tao were really useless. He might as well fuse them. Over 2,000 Heart of Tao were fused together. Lin Fei's harvest was not bad. He actually obtained a Tier 3 Heart of Tao. There were also several Tier 5 and Tier 6 Heart of Tao. These Heart of Tao were clearly much better than the Tier 9 Heart of Tao. His power attribute had also become stronger. Of course, this was not perfect. Lin Fei still felt that it was a little lacking. However, if he sold these Heart of Tao, he could definitely fetch a good price. It's a pity that I'm walking the great Tao of body refinement, and there's also this life-sizer sword. So, these Heart of Tao really aren't of much help to me. After this round of fusing, Lin Fei also noticed some problems. The Tree of Life's fusion was completely random. It would not be like what Lin Fei imagined at all. Hence, this was all dependent on luck. However, looking at it now, Lin Fei's luck was not very good. Chapter 4489. Lin Fei did not continue researching as there was no point in doing so. Fortunately, he had already obtained a rank 3 Heart of Tao. This was a good item. No matter which nascent soul cultivator refined it, they would definitely be able to create a powerful enlightenment stage expert. At the very least, they would be in the middle stage of enlightenment stage. This was the benefit of the heart of Tao. The higher the grade of the heart of Tao, the stronger it would be. After all, the higher the attributes, the stronger the heart of Tao was. What Lin Fei needed to do was simple. He needed to find out from Xiong Batian where the heavenly wood came from. That was the most important thing. It was indeed a huge improvement for the tree of life to produce 200 drops of God water of life. How could Lin Fei miss such an opportunity? It was absolutely impossible. Therefore, he had to find out from Xiong Batian what was going on. He definitely could not miss it. He knew that Xiong Batian would definitely know. 3 days passed in a row. Xiong Batian had been waiting for this senior to come out. He did not dare to leave. He had 10 years of lifespan now, but the moment he fought, his lifespan would be depleted faster and faster. Deep in his heart, he thoroughly hated his brothers and sisters. If they hadn't schemed against him, he wouldn't be in such a terrible state. Senior Lin has come out. He wants you to go over. Just like that, he waited. Xiong Batian finally saw Hu Meili. She was still dressed in a red robe, looking strong and beautiful. Xiong Batian hurriedly stood up. Thank you, President Hu, I will go over now. Alright, how is Senior feeling? Can you tell me about it? Xiong Batian knew that he had to get close. Although he did not know what this senior was going to do with so many Heart of Tao fragments, Xiong Batian still had to think about it. If the senior was in a bad mood, he would have to talk to him. Hu Meili gave him some face this time. My mood is alright. With that, Xiong Batian was completely at ease. As long as the senior was in a good mood, then everything else wouldn't be a problem. Xiong Batian kept his arrogance and came to the courtyard of the senior. Senior, I heard that you were looking for me. What instructions do you have for me? Xiong Batian was very proactive. He had to take responsibility for this matter first. Lin Fei glanced at Xiong Batian. This guy had 10 years of lifespan and his complexion had recovered quite a bit. He wasn't as ugly as before. He pointed to the side and said, sit down and talk. How would Xiong Batian dare to sit in front of Lin Fei? I'll just stand. After all, you're my senior. It wouldn't look good for me to sit next to you. Lin Fei didn't say anything else. Tell me, where did you get the great Tao heart fragment and the heavenly wood? Xiong Batian had already guessed it, but he never thought that he would actually ask about the fragment of the great Tao heart and the heavenly tree. Fortunately, he had already thought about it. I obtained this fragment of the Tao heart and the heavenly divine wood from Chaos City. That's the place with the most items, as it's a special place in our spirit realm. Xiong Batian did not hide anything and spoke honestly. He was very detailed, as if he was afraid that Lin Fei would not know. Lin Fei really didn't know that there was such a place in the spirit realm. Chaos City? Once he heard these 3 words, he knew that this place was very different. This Chaos City was built by a holy king. This holy king is called the Holy King of Chaos. He's not the only holy king in the entire Chaos City. There are 3 other holy kings who are very powerful, and this holy king of chaos is said to be breaking through to a higher realm. He'll become a top-notch powerhouse in the spirit realm with just one more step. After searching in the river of memories, Lin Fei really found records about Chaos City. He really did find a record of Chaos City. There was indeed such a place in the spirit realm. This Chaos City was very special. Whether it was the human race or the demon race, they were all wary of this Chaos City. This was because this holy king of chaos was very powerful. He was considered a top-notch powerhouse among the holy kings. He had always been guarding Chaos City. That place was a chaotic place, and if one wanted to stand firm there, one would need to have strength. Without strength, one couldn't stand firm at all. If one went there, one would be killed. As such, anyone who was wanted in Chaos City would head to Chaos City. Because they could protect their lives there, Anyone who entered Chaos City had to abide by the rules. Otherwise, they would be killed. Even the major forces on the human race's side didn't dare to offend this holy king of chaos. Fortunately, this holy king of chaos didn't have any ambition. Other than this Chaos City, he had no interest in anything else. Therefore, this Chaos City became a special place over time. After looking through the information, Lin Fei frowned slightly. Are you sure that place still has the heavenly divine wood and the great Tao Heart fragment? Although Lin Fei knew there was a place called Chaos City, he wasn't very clear about the specific situation. It seemed like Xiong Batian was very clear about this matter. Xiong Batian hurriedly said, Chaos City is a very special place. The Chaos Chamber of Commerce has countless things. Most of them are treasures obtained by killing and burning. They are all sold there. I bought the heavenly divine wood there. Not only can you buy these things there, but you can also buy slaves. Whether it's golden core or nascent soul, or even a crippled paradise realm, you can buy them as long as you have spirit stones. Therefore, Chaos City has another name, the world of the rich. Lin Fei was not surprised at all by such a statement. As long as you have spirit stones, you can really live a life that ordinary people couldn't live anywhere. Lin Fei asked a few more things and was even more interested in Chaos City. According to Xiong Batian, Chaos City still had the heavenly divine wood. This was something he knew, but it wasn't cheap. Xiong Batian spent more than half of his wealth to get these things. Therefore, it was impossible to go to Chaos City to buy spirit stones. Lin Fei pondered for a while. He really had to have some wealth to go to Chaos City. Although Lin Fei had quite a lot of wealth now, it might not be enough to go to Chaos City. Seems like I have to sell a few more great Tao Hearts. Only then can I gather a large sum of money. Otherwise, I won't be able to survive in Chaos City. Sell the great Tao Heart. The first thing Lin Fei thought of was Hu Meili. However, he had just sold a rank 9 great Tao Heart. If he sold another one, he might be suspected by Hu Meili. Lin Fei quickly suppressed this thought. He already had layers of veils on his body. What was there to be afraid of if Hu Meili suspected him again? After all, his current strength wasn't that simple. Go and ask President Hu to come in. I have something to talk to her. Chapter 4490. It's here, Xiong Batian must be hiding here. I heard that there's a place called the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce. At the same time, a group of 5 people arrived outside the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce. They were sizing up the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce. These people were all dressed in black cloaks and their faces could not be seen clearly, but the cold aura they exuded was extremely cold. Everyone could feel it. If Xiong Batian was here, he would definitely be able to recognize them. These were the 5 people who chased after Xiong Batian all the way. They had thought that they would succeed in what they were determined to do. But who would have thought that Xiong Batian was so cunning and had so many treasures in his hands, causing them to fail? After some investigation, they found out that this guy ran to the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce and hid there for a few days. They waited outside for a long time, but he did not come out. In the end, they decided to come to the Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce to get rid of Xiong Batian. As long as they really got rid of Xiong Batian, they would be able to get 30 million middle-grade spirit stones. That would be 6 million middle-grade spirit stones for each person. No one could refuse such a huge temptation. They could not refuse. Outsiders could not either. My people have confirmed that Xiong Batian is in this Dark Spirit Chamber of Commerce. Let's go straight to him. Even if they react, they won't be able to stop the 5 of us. The 5 black-cloaked figures then disappeared. Layers of ripples appeared in the space, as if they had never appeared before. Hu Meili was a little surprised after hearing Xiong Batian's words. Taoist Lin wants to see me? This was a little different from what Hu Meili had expected. But on second thought, Hu Meili seemed to have thought of something. Maybe the matter of going in this time had something to do with Xiong Batian. This was something that Hu Meili had an intuition about. I'm guessing maybe Senior is short of money. Xiong Batian hesitated for a moment, then whispered. Then he closed his eyes and rested. When Humeili heard this, she completely understood what was going on. She looked at Xiong Batian gratefully. She turned around and walked inside. These few days, Humeili had been in a good mood. The heart of Tao had already been used, and it really allowed her nascent soul to break through to the void insight realm. Although it was only at the early void insight realm, she had mastered the power of the Tao, which was not something that nascent soul could resist. This was a huge chasm that not everyone could cross. Humeili could not help but feel a little excited. She seemed to have guessed it. When he entered the courtyard, he saw Lin Fei with a faint smile on his face. Senior Lin, I heard you were looking for me? Lin Fei also got straight to the point. I know that president who is a very smart president and a great beauty. I don't know if you're interested in the Tao heart. I've been short on spirit stones recently. Humeili suppressed the excitement in her heart. She knew it would be like this. He didn't expect Xiong Batian to be right. This Senior Lin Fei was really lacking in spirit stones. Senior Lin, it's Humeili's honor that you're interested in me. Isn't it just spirit stones? Don't hesitate to ask, I will definitely help you gather it. Not to mention anything else, the Dark Nether Chamber of Commerce can gather at least 80 million middle-grade spirit stones for you. If Senior wants more upper-grade spirit stones, I can also gather some, but not much, just 2 or 3 million upper-grade spirit stones. Lin Fei really didn't think that much. He didn't expect this Humeili to be so rich. No, it should be said that the Dark Nether Chamber of Commerce was a little rich, to actually be able to take out so many middle-grade spirit stones. Of course, they definitely had some reservations. Lin Fei didn't really care about this. He just wanted middle-grade spirit stones. It would be even better if there were upper-grade spirit stones. Lin Fei waved his hand and took out a few Tao hearts. They were all rank 9. As for the others, he didn't take them out. He was afraid that Humeili wouldn't be able to handle it. Even so, Humeili's expression changed. She was glad that she met a benefactor. Lin Fei was her benefactor in life. A Tao heart could create an insightful emptiness realm expert. These Tao hearts would be a few insightful emptiness realm expert. She didn't even dare to think about it. Thank you, Senior Lin, for thinking so highly of me. I will immediately gather 100 million middle-grade spirit stones for you. Humeili wouldn't take advantage of him. As soon as she saw these Tao hearts, she immediately raised the number of middle-grade spirit stones to 100 million. 100 million middle-grade spirit stones was considered a huge number. Lin Fei was very satisfied with Humeili's actions. She was indeed a person that he had a good impression of. And in the next second, a fluctuation came from the void. Xiong Batian, who was originally resting with his eyes closed, was suddenly attacked by 5 experts. The 5 black experts were very strong. The power of the 5 great Tao gathered together and formed a strange attack, instantly causing Xiong Batian to fall into a dead end. Xiong Batian was almost in despair. Senior, save me. When the 5 black-robed men heard this, they couldn't wait to kill Xiong Batian. Whether there was a senior or not, they had to kill Xiong Batian first. The great Tao defense on Xiong Batian's body broke in an instant, not even a breath of time. Xiong Batian was scared out of his wits. Xiong Batian had seen the capabilities of these 5 people. Because he had been chased by them, he only had that little lifespan left. His heart was filled with hatred. He didn't expect them to still dare to chase him, and even attack him in broad daylight. This was something that Xiong Batian didn't expect. The only thing left in his mind was that Senior Lin, and only he could save his life. Seeing that the killer move was about to land on him, killing him, a ripple appeared and covered Xiong Batian. You guys are a little too much to kill under my eyes. A voice that was neither soft nor loud rang in the minds of the 5 black-robed men. The 5 of them let out a muffled groan. After a gust of wind blew over, the 5 of them looked at each other and left in an instant. Drops of fresh blood splattered on the ground. The moment the 5 of them disappeared, Xiong Batian collapsed to the ground. Humeili rushed out too, and when she saw the pathetic Xiong Batian, her face was filled with anger. How dare they barge into the Dark Spirit Trade Union to kill people? I will definitely not let them off. This was equivalent to slapping Humeili in the face. If Xiong Batian were to really die in this trade union, Humeili would be in big trouble. Lin Fei didn't do much, and with just a light move, he forced the 5 of them to leave. Xiong Batian is really suffering, to actually chase us all the way here. No wonder he didn't leave, these people are probably guarding outside. Xiong Batian staggered in. He knelt in front of Lin Fei. Thank you for saving me, Senior. I want to spend 100 million, please send me back. Chapter 4491. Xiong Batian's small request made Lin Fei a little surprised. In fact, he was not very surprised by this small request. He could also see that Xiong Batian must have been quite frightened. Otherwise, he would not have made such a request. The important thing was that 100 million mid-grade spirit stones really made Lin Fei have some ideas. Who asked him to be short of spirit stones recently? With spirit stones, things would naturally be easier. He could also get 100 million mid-grade spirit stones from Humeili. To Lin Fei, it was definitely not too much. He definitely had to go to Chaos City. The more spirit stones, the better. Xiong Batian seemed to be worried that Lin Fei had other ideas, and added another sentence. Going to my place and Chaos City is actually not contradictory. It can be said to be along the way. It's just a little detour. Of course, Lin Fei wanted to go to Chaos City. That place had the most primitive heavenly wood. No matter what, he had to make a trip there. I don't believe that sending you back is worth 100 million mid-grade spirit stones. If you have any ideas, just say it. Of course, Lin Fei did not believe Xiong Batian's words. 100 million to escort, no matter who it was, would be tempted. There were a lot of dangers along the way. Of course, to Lin Fei, this little bit of danger was nothing. What he cared about was whether Xiong Batian was hiding something else. If Lin Fei couldn't figure this out, he wouldn't be escorting Xiong Batian. At this moment, Xiong Batian also gritted his teeth. I would like to ask Senior to help me complete a training mission while escorting me, so that I can sit on the successor's position. As long as I sit on this successor's position, not to mention 100 million mid-grade spirit stones, I can even help you get 300 to 500 million mid-grade spirit stones. In a forest outside the Dark Spirit Trade Union, 5 people fell out. These 5 people were the 5 people who attacked previously. At this moment, there was a sword wound on their bodies. As it swept across their bodies, drops of fresh blood continuously dripped down. These people were all overshadowed, and their faces were filled with fear. I didn't expect Dark Spirit Trade Association to have such an expert. He managed to injure us with just one move. If the 5 of them worked together, they wouldn't have to be afraid even if they encountered someone in the middle or late stage of the insightful Void Realm, unless that person had cultivated 2 great Daos. Up until now they really hadn't encountered such a thing, but this young man made them feel the aura of death the moment he attacked. This was something that hadn't happened before, so they couldn't sit still. After all, they had accepted the mission to eliminate Xiong Batian. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to get his hands on the Spirit Stone. What do we do now? That guy is very strong. Even if we joined hands, we still wouldn't be a match for him. We were just a little bit off. Speaking of this, they gritted their teeth. It was indeed a pity. If they were given a little more time, they would definitely be able to heavily injure Xiong Batian. After all, they knew that Xiong Batian did not have much lifespan left. As long as Xiong Batian dared to resist, they wouldn't even need to kill him. It was a pity that they failed at the last moment. It was a pity. That Xiong Batian can't possibly hide here forever. He will definitely go back. You should know that the successor selection of the Xiong clan is about to begin. Unless Xiong Batian is willing to miss this opportunity, we can just wait outside. But for safety's sake, we have to find some experts here. That way, we will have a chance to eliminate Xiong Batian. As they recuperated, they sent a message to the organization. This wasn't a small matter, so they had to prepare for a rainy day. Lin Fei knew that Xiong Batian had some ulterior motive. He looked over coldly. Xiong Batian lowered his head. Senior, please help me. As long as you can escort me back and help me obtain the successor position, I will definitely reward you handsomely. Hu Meili, who was at the side, knew about this matter. Senior Lin, there are indeed rumors that the Xiong clan is going to compete for the successor position. This is no different from choosing a crown prince. However, Xiong Batian has a lot of brothers and sisters. He has 30 to 40 brothers and sisters. Each of them has a certain amount of power, so the competition is very intense. Lin Fei wasn't very surprised. However, he didn't like Xiong Batian, so he tricked him. It's not that I can't send you back, but 100 million is too little. I want 500 million mid-grade spirit stones and 50 million high-grade spirit stones. As long as you can afford it, I'll send you back and help you get the qualifications to be the successor. Lin Fei had nothing to do anyway. Moreover, he was going to Chaos City, so he naturally hoped to have more spirit stones. With more spirit stones, he would be able to do well in Chaos City. Now, it was up to Xiong Batian to take out something that could move him. Even though 500 million mid-grade spirit stones and 50 million high-grade spirit stones weren't a lot, they could stop 90% of the people if he wanted to take them out. Even Hu Meili secretly sucked in a breath of cold air after hearing it. Xiong Batian also took a deep breath. Senior, don't worry. As long as I can become the successor, I will help you gather 500 million mid-grade spirit stones and 50 million high-grade spirit stones. This is my promise to you, Xiong Batian. Xiong Batian also threw caution to the wind. This time, he had suffered a heavy loss. However, if he had the help of a senior, he might be able to turn his luck around. Therefore, he was prepared to take a gamble. Lin Fei laughed. If you can't get the successor position, wouldn't I have come here for nothing? Xiong Batian shook his head. Even if I can't get the successor position, I will return my life to you. Anyway, it's all thanks to you that I'm still alive. Lin Fei looked at Xiong Batian. You're quite straightforward. You even know to return my life. However, I like what you said. I'll accompany you then. However, not now, but in a few days. Hu Meili vaguely guessed something. Senior, could it be that you want to catch all the assassins outside in one fell swoop? Lin Fei poured himself another cup of tea. I heard that assassins are quite rich. Now that I'm a pauper, I naturally have to have some ideas. I can only say that they're unlucky. Xiong Batian, who was listening at the side, also felt relieved and said, They will definitely come. He took the spirit stones from us brothers and sisters, so he will definitely gather his men. At most, in 3 to 5 days they will definitely be waiting outside. Hu Meili also broke out in cold sweat for these people. They had really offended someone. Now that he was being targeted by someone, if he left now, he could still live. However, if he really stayed outside, he would definitely die. Hu Meili felt that those people would definitely be guarding outside. Then I'll arrange for someone to watch their every move. Lin Fei shook his head. No need. As long as they stay outside, it doesn't matter if they watch or not. Anyway, they're still here. Chapter 4492. Lin Fei stayed at the Black Spirit Chamber of Commerce for another 5 days. During these 5 days, the entire Heiyu Mountain would be quiet. Hu Meili was also very busy. She gathered 100 million mid-grade spirit stones for Lin Fei and successfully obtained the Great Path Hearts. After obtaining the Great Path Hearts, Hu Meili disappeared again. No one knew what Hu Meili went to do. Lin Fei was not very interested in this. He already knew that there were people outside. There were quite a few of them. There were more than a dozen of them, and they all hid their auras very well. However, after they were hit by Lin Fei's sword, they had already left behind Lin Fei's means. They could clearly sense the traces of those people. Okay, everyone is here. We can go now. After all, I still have to go to Chaos City. Lin Fei came out of the courtyard. Xiong Batian had been waiting outside. Xiong Batian heaved a sigh of relief. After all, none of those people outside were easy to deal with. Now, he was a commander without an army. These people could make him suffer a lot if they attacked. Now that they were leaving, Xiong Batian was finally relieved. Nothing could make him feel more relaxed than this, because the day was getting closer and closer. There was a forest outside the Black Spirit Chamber of Commerce. At this time, there were more than a dozen experts hiding outside the forest. These people were all here to kill Xiong Batian. Some of them were especially good at defense. They were the best to use them to stall that young man. They knew that Xiong Batian would definitely come out. He would definitely not wait that long. Otherwise, he would miss the opportunity to be the successor. One had to know that Sage King was the top powerhouse in the spiritual world. There were only a few Sage Kings in the entire spiritual world, but any Sage King had great influence, and the Xiong family's influence was naturally not small. Therefore, the selection of the successor was even stricter. Therefore, as long as Xiong Batian wanted to be the successor and lead the entire Xiong family, he would definitely come out. Once he became the successor of the Xiong family, he would definitely become a Sage King within 100 years. Otherwise, he would not be able to lead the family at all. This situation was not only happening in the Xiong family. It was the same in other families. I can feel Xiong Batian's aura. He's coming out. Everyone, keep a close eye on him. Lin Fei and Xiong Batian came out. He could sense those auras. As for Xiong Batian, he was filled with confidence. He had really met a benefactor. Lin Fei laughed as he walked into the woods. Since you're already here, why bother hiding? Isn't this unnecessary? Lin Fei smiled faintly. Xiong Batian stood beside Lin Fei, and in the next breath, the dozen experts instantly took action. A huge formation came crashing down. At the same time, a huge bell came crashing down. Clearly, they wanted to trap Lin Fei first. The remaining people immediately charged towards Xiong Batian. It was another close-range assassination. Their teamwork was very good, and the power was even greater than the last time. No matter who saw it, they would secretly suck in a breath of cold air. Xiong Batian wasn't as flustered as before. After all, Senior Lin was here. With Senior Lin here, he definitely wouldn't be in trouble. Xiong Batian was filled with confidence in Lin Fei. Lin Fei glanced at them calmly. It's fine if you guys left, but it's a pity that you guys aren't smart. I can only say that you guys are unlucky. Coincidentally, I'm in need of money, so I can only think of something from you. When the people who attacked heard this, they were all stunned. They thought for a long time. They didn't understand why this person would say such a thing to them. They were all assassins. Was he going to rob them of their belongings? Wasn't that a little too much? No one had ever dared to speak to them like that. However, as soon as this person made his move, they felt a dangerous aura blow past them. It was chilly. Immediately, they felt that something was wrong. That was because they didn't feel such a chilly feeling usually. When they lowered their heads to look at themselves, they realized that they had been split into two and were falling off one by one. They didn't even see how he did it. In the end, they were just corpses. Plop, plop, plop. One by one, the corpses fell onto the ground. The scene was filled with the stench of blood. Xiong Batian took in a breath of cold air. He knew that Senior Lin was strong, but he didn't expect him to kill all the assassins in the blink of an eye. Since I've accepted your money, I naturally have to help you vent your anger. I wonder if my price is acceptable? Lin Fei laughed and teased. World Dominator nodded subconsciously. Senior Lin, you're really mighty. These assassins are famous for being cruel. I didn't expect them to be defeated. Xiong Batian said, and his actions didn't slow down. He took all the rings off their bodies. Even the treasures he had on him were stowed away, not missing a single one. He placed them in front of Lin Fei. Xiong Batian didn't expect that the people who were chasing after him would die just like that. This feeling was really great. Lin Fei waved his hand and kept the rings. He then checked them. Needless to say, these people were quite profitable. He had earned a total of 10 million middle-grade spirit stones. Although it wasn't a lot, it was still a profit. The matter is settled. Lead the way. Lin Fei and Xiong Batian left the Dark Spirit Merchant Union. When Humeili returned and heard the news, she sighed. Looks like this Xiong Batian is really lucky to have encountered such an opportunity. I'm afraid he might even have the chance to become the future successor of the Xiong clan. Even he himself is a little surprised. Humeili's intuition had always been accurate. She felt that the possibility was quite high. No matter what, Xiong Batian was really lucky this time. With Xiong Batian leading the way, Lin Fei passed through a few counties and finally arrived at Tianxia County. Tianxia County was one of the stronger counties. Xiong family was located in Tianxia County. However, this Saint King wasn't the ruler of Tianxia County. There were a few Saint Kings in Tianxia County. After Lin Fei entered Tianxia County, he felt a few strong auras. If they weren't Saint Kings, what else could they be? It gave one a palpitating feeling. As for the rest, there wasn't anything else. It seems like this county is quite strong. It's much stronger than the one I brought back then. Lin Fei laughed. After reaching Tianxia County, Xiong Batian felt more at ease. Although there were some troubles along the way, they were easily resolved. Therefore, Xiong Batian was very grateful to Lin Fei from the bottom of his heart. Without him, he would have been finished. Not to mention appearing here, he wouldn't have been able to deal with those assassins. Senior, that is my family. Chapter 4493. Xiong Batian's clan was very big, unlike the other clans, which were all in a big city. Xiong Batian's clan built a big city. The name of the city was Xiongfeng City. It was also very big in Tianxia Prefecture. When he entered within 1,000 miles of Xiongfeng City, Lin Fei felt waves of pressure. It turned out to be a super formation. Senior, we can only walk on the official road because there are formations set up within 1,000 miles. The deeper we go, the greater the pressure. Also, there are people from my clan who are constantly patrolling. Even if you are a disciple of the Xiong clan, you have to obey the rules. As long as you come within 300 miles of Xiongfeng City, you will be attacked by the Xiong clan. Xiong Batian said apologetically. After entering this place, Lin Fei knew that this Xiongfeng City was quite strong. In this Xiongfeng City, Lin Fei felt a total of 2 strong auras. This meant that there were 2 sage kings in this Xiongfeng City. One was Xiong Batian's father, and the other was a sage king who was slightly weaker. He could vaguely display the strength of a sage king. Therefore, this Xiongfeng City was very strong. With such a strong backing, Xiong Batian indeed had the capital to be arrogant. After all, no one was willing to offend a sage king. No, it was 2 sage kings. A sage king could destroy a first-rate force. As long as the first-rate force did not have a sage king, it would not have any ability to resist. But with a sage king, it was different. Of course, no first-rate force would be willing to offend a sage king. The revenge of a sage king was very scary. Therefore, under normal circumstances, sage kings would not easily attack each other. But if they were to attack, it would definitely be a fight to the death. Lin Fei landed. Xiong Batian took out his communication talisman. It didn't take long before another team arrived. When this team arrived, they half-knelt in front of Xiong Batian. Senior, these are my people. Seeing that it was full, Lin Fei smiled. This guy had some foundation. No wonder his brothers and sisters wanted to attack him. This team was quite strong. The 5 people in front were all insightful emptiness realm experts. Even though they were both at the early stage of the insightful void realm, it was still not easy. After all, not everyone could grasp the power of the great Tao. When they came over and saw young master, they were all delighted. The time was getting closer and closer, but their young master had yet to return. They had also heard rumors that they wanted to assassinate their young master. However, when they saw the young man beside him, they understood. Perhaps it was this young man who protected her all the way back. Xiong Batian personally brought over a demonic beast mount. "Senior, please take a seat first." Lin Fei didn't stand on ceremony and sat down. After that, Xiong Batian sat on another mount. He headed for Xiongfeng City. The 5 insightful emptiness realm experts behind Xiong Batian looked at each other. "Do you know who this young man is?" "I really don't know. However, it looks like young master is very respectful towards this person. I can't tell how strong this person is." The 5 of them were the most outstanding people by Xiong Batian's side. She had always brought them with her. This time, he actually brought a young man with him. This made them a little unhappy, especially since this person seemed to be a golden core realm cultivator. This made them even more confused. However, in front of young master, they didn't dare to show any changes in their expressions. Not long later, Lin Fei arrived at the entrance of Xiongfeng City. This city was built with black stones and looked like a ferocious beast. It gave a strong visual impact. Just from this, Lin Fei could tell that as a king sage, he was ambitious. Of course, it wasn't a small matter to be able to build a city in the Tianxia province. He entered Xiongfeng City. Lin Fei realized that it was very lively here. When Xiong Batian returned, he was as relaxed as a tiger returning to the forest. The pressure on his body also disappeared. Xiong Batian kept introducing information about Xiongfeng City. Not long later, a residence appeared in front of him. "This is my residence. It's absolutely safe." So Xiong Batian had his own residence and didn't live with his family. At this moment, there was a long queue at the entrance of the residence. The news of Xiong Batian returning to Xiongfeng City spread immediately. After all, Xiong Batian was loved by the king sage. Therefore, everyone was looking forward to seeing if they could become the successor. However, when they heard that he hadn't returned for a long time, they couldn't help but worry. Everyone knew that the king sage's brothers and sisters weren't easy to negotiate with. They would play tricks from time to time, but the king sage allowed it. Therefore, when Xiong Batian didn't return, everyone thought that something had happened. Now that he was back, they realized that the fight would become more interesting. Lin Fei stayed in one of the courtyards in the residence. The courtyard was very quiet. No one would disturb him. Ever since he came, Xiong Batian had been busy with things and going in and out of the residence. Lin Fei didn't really care about this. He just needed to help Xiong Batian when the time came. Since he was paid to do things, and since Lin Fei didn't have any money on him, he naturally wouldn't miss such an opportunity. While Xiong Batian was busy, the few insightful emptiness realm experts had some ideas. This was because Xiong Batian had treated this young man with the highest level of hospitality. It was something that they had never enjoyed before. Therefore, they naturally had some ideas in their hearts. On this day, Xiong Batian wasn't at home, so they came together to have a good chat with the young man. Actually, they were just testing him. If he was really a golden elixir expert, they wouldn't mind teaching him a lesson. After all, they were the most important people to the young master, not an outsider. They had no choice. Following young master Xiong Batian gave them a good life, good benefits, good resources, and fast cultivation. If someone else had the upper hand, they would want to kill them. Therefore, they came together today. Once they entered the courtyard, they saw Lin Fei sitting under a tree and drinking tea. He wasn't in a hurry and was very calm. The more he was like this, the more they disliked him. This was because they could smell the fragrance. This was a spiritual tea that was worth 1,000,000 per gram. Even they couldn't bear to drink it, let alone a whole pot. Not to mention a whole pot of it. This kind of differential treatment made them even more angry and unwilling. Why? They wanted to come in even more. Chapter 4494. When these people came in and saw the scene in front of them, they were even more unhappy. Even for them, it was rare for them to have a chance to drink such good tea. On the other hand, this brat could drink a pot of it leisurely. He was simply mocking them. After Lin Fei drank a cup of tea, he put it down. I see that you guys are not very friendly. Could it be that you want to have a good chat with me while Xiong Batian is not around? What kind of person was Lin Fei? He could tell what these people were thinking with one look. It was nothing more than jealousy and envy. Ever since they came to Xiong Batian's residence, they had enjoyed the best service and hospitality. Naturally, these insightful emptiness experts had their own thoughts. Brat, I don't know what method you used to confuse Xiong Batian, but in front of me, you are still too inexperienced. An older insightful emptiness expert walked out. This insightful emptiness expert had already reached the intermediate stage of the insightful emptiness realm. He was also the most powerful expert by Xiong Batian's side. His words naturally carried some weight. He stared at Wang Xian. Yes, you are a newcomer and you don't even know how to greet us. You are still enjoying yourself here. Do you really not care about us? I think you should quickly stand up and give up your seat. Obediently wait for us to punish you. Don't act like you are the most powerful person in the future. Each of them took a step forward and stared coldly. It seemed that if Lin Fei did not make a decision, they would attack. Just their aura alone was quite frightening. Who was Lin Fei? They did not care about him at all. You want me to lower my head in front of you? Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Lin Fei slammed the table lightly and a sword light swept over. The 5 insightful emptiness experts looked at him with disdain. How could he make them lower their heads with such a method? However, when the sword light landed on their defenses, after a crisp sound, the 5 of them instantly groaned. The sword light landed on their bodies, pierced through their treasured armor, and sent them flying. All of them fell at the door. I'm not interested in playing any tricks with you. I'll let you suffer a little today. If there's a next time, I don't mind killing the 5 of you in front of Xiong Batian. The 5 of them fell at the entrance of the courtyard. The sword wound on their bodies had directly cut through their flesh. They were so scared that they broke out in a cold sweat. If the power was just a little bit stronger, wouldn't they have died on the spot? Terrifying. They finally realized that the person in front of them was not a gold core cultivator at all, but a gold core cultivator in the insightful void realm. He hurriedly got up. We were wrong. We won't dare to do it again. They were all unbelievably well behaved. They all knew that some powerful insightful emptiness experts could kill people in the same realm as them alone. That was the case for the 5 of them who were in the insightful void realm. Even if they were in the middle stage of the insightful void realm, it was nothing at this moment. They had never felt that the power of a sword light could be so strong. It was unbelievable that it could actually pierce through their flesh. It was a little unrealistic just thinking about it. After the 5 of them left, Lin Fei took another sip of tea. This top-grade spirit tea was indeed quite good. As for these 5 people, Lin Fei did not take them seriously at all. If they were not the subordinates of Xiong Batian, they would have died just now. Now, Lin Fei's sword skills were shockingly fast. They could not block it at all. If he went all out, they would definitely die with one sword. What Lin Fei wanted to do was to complete this task so that he could go to Chaos City. He was most interested in Chaos City. He had a lot of time now. The training task of the sky-reaching church required him to cultivate to the insightful void realm. Although it only gave him 3 years, of course, in Lin Fei's opinion, it did not need 3 years at all. He could break through to the insightful void realm at any time, but he felt that the current gold core realm was pretty good. He could deceive many people. If he could survive in Chaos City, Lin Fei did not intend to return to the sky-reaching church. After all, although the sky-reaching church had a lot of resources, it was not easy to get sky-reaching divine wood. Therefore, Lin Fei decided to put it aside first and take a look at Chaos City first. From the moment he entered the sky-reaching church, Lin Fei had never thought of becoming a disciple for life. It was nothing more than those benefits. If there was a place with more benefits, Lin Fei naturally would not mind. That night, Xiong Batian knew about this matter. He rushed over as soon as possible. "Senior, I'm really sorry. I didn't know those bastards dared to find trouble with you. Thank you for being merciful and not killing them." Xiong Batian was very clear about Lin Fei's strength. Killing 5 insightful Void Realm experts was as easy as eating and drinking. Xiong Batian's heart was full of cold sweat. "I don't care about those people. After all, they are also your people. If they were others, they would have been dead by now. When will your successor selection begin? Don't waste too much of my time." Lin Fei was indifferent. Xiong Batian also secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Although Senior Lin did not look very good, it seemed that he was not really angry. If he was really angry, those people would not be alive. "I have already scolded all of them. In the future, they will not find trouble with you anymore. As for the successor selection, it will be completed in 5 days." 5 days was not a long time. Lin Fei could afford to wait. "Then come back in 5 days." Lin Fei waved his hand, gesturing for Xiong Batian to leave. Xiong Batian hesitated for a moment before saying, "Senior, I just received a piece of news regarding the heavenly tree. I think you should know about it." The heavenly tree. Lin Fei's eyebrows twitched slightly. He seemed a little surprised. "Tell me about it." When he was in the heaven-reaching church, Lin Fei already knew that there were many heavenly tree left outside. Although the heaven-reaching church had taken back a lot of them, not all of them were actually taken back. Some of them were kept as a collection by some experts from time to time. Therefore, they would appear outside from time to time. Xiong Batian said, "In our masculine Wind City, there is a training field called the Life and Death Field. This is a place where you can spend a lot of money to gain experience. But today, there is a young master from another place who has brought along a heavenly tree. He has even arranged for an expert to defeat many of our masculine Wind City's experts. As long as he is defeated, he will be able to obtain the heavenly tree as well as a lot of spirit stones." Chapter 4495. The Life and Death Arena was a special place in the Xiongfeng City. It was not opened by the Xiongfeng City, but by a stronger force. It existed in many places. A life and death arena like this was usually used to resolve conflict. Of course, it was also used for training. Anyone who wanted to improve their strength would come to the life and death arena. If he won, he would live. If he died, he would die. It was very simple and clear. Of course, it became a place for many young masters to spend their time. Most of them would bring their subordinates, the so-called death warriors. Ordinary people would not be able to afford to fight with others and place heavy bets on them. Therefore, when Lin Fei heard about the heavenly wood, he was definitely interested. Therefore, he asked Xiong Batian to bring him here. The moment they entered the life and death arena, it was very noisy. The life and death arena was no different from the fighting arenas that Lin Fei had seen before. It was divided into 2 levels. The lower level was filled with ordinary cultivators, while the upper level was filled with private rooms. One could see what was below. Xiong Batian brought Lin Fei to a private room upstairs. This was a private room that Xiong Batian frequented. After entering, one could see what was below from above. The people below could not see what was above. The person in the arena was Ma Ku's man. He was quite strong. He actually cultivated 2 great Dao, one for attack and one for support. He was very strong. God knows how many people he stopped. Xiong Batian said from the side. Lin Fei also looked over. There was indeed an inconspicuous person standing on the arena. He looked very ordinary. If Xiong Batian had not mentioned him, Lin Fei would not have known. This guy actually cultivated 2 great Dao, one for attack and one for support. This way, his strength increased very quickly. He's so strong that he managed to come up here. Lin Fei chuckled. Not just anyone can deal with a person like this. Xiong Batian laughed bitterly and said, Ma Ku is purely here to humiliate the Xiongfeng city. He even allowed 1 to 3 insightful emptiness realm experts to fight together. Unfortunately, none of them could defeat him. Xiong Batian pointed towards the distance. Do you see that? His heavenly wood and spirit stones are over there. In fact, Lin Fei had already noticed the heavenly wood just now. After all, once the heavenly tree was placed there, it would be hard not to notice it. The tree of life in his body was already restless, itching to devour this heavenly tree. As for the card beside it, it was the Spirit Stone card. This Spirit Stone card was golden in color. As for the Golden Spirit Stone card, one must have at least 10 million mid-grade Spirit Stones stored in it. Only 100 million mid-grade Spirit Stones and above could have a purple color. Since there's no one else going up, I'll go meet this guy and earn some money. Xiong Batian heaved a sigh of relief. After all, he had a belly full of anger today. He almost offended Senior Lin Fei. How was he supposed to explain this? For a moment, he even wanted to kill those 5 guys. Of all the people he could have offended, he actually offended Senior Lin. Was he not afraid of being killed by Lin Fei? As soon as Lin Fei came down, he heard a voice coming from one of the boxes. Are there no experts in Masculine Wind City? That's too disappointing. Didn't I just find a decent underling? That's too disappointing. What a miserable day, I'll be the one getting the prize. Lin Fei knew that this was Mark the moment he heard this. He should be showing off on purpose. Isn't that the hobbies of these young masters? The person on the stage patted his chest with an expressionless face. Who else wants to come up and try? I can let him have 3 moves first. I promise I won't fight back. Many people in the surroundings were furious. As people of the masculine Gale City, they really couldn't keep their faces. However, this person was extremely strong. He was not someone ordinary people could deal with. This guy already had the strength of an intermediate Void Realm cultivator. Yet, his offensive and defensive abilities were much stronger. He was a very unique existence. Therefore, he was not easy to deal with. I heard that you're going to let him have 3 moves first. Lin Fei's voice could be heard. He walked towards the life and death ring. At this moment, everyone noticed this person. However, when they saw this person, they were slightly stunned. Isn't this the person that Xiong Batian brought back? I heard that he's Xiong Batian's new underling. It can't be. He's just a golden core cultivator. Could he be at the peak of the golden core realm? So what if he's at the peak of the golden core realm? Could he still be a match for this person? You're thinking too much. Masculine Wind City wasn't small, but it wasn't big either. Therefore, when Xiong Batian brought someone back, everyone knew clearly. Although they didn't find out the details, they knew that this person was definitely recruited by Xiong Batian. He was a golden core cultivator. Even if he was at the peak of the golden core realm, it was nothing. If he was at the nascent soul realm, he might be able to do it. However, in this place, the nascent soul realm was useless. Many people in the private rooms were talking about it. Of course, some of these boxes were Xiong Batian's brothers and sisters. When they saw a golden core cultivator going up, they sneered. This younger brother is really interesting. For the sake of face, he actually sent a golden core cultivator up. Is he not afraid of losing face all the way to his grandmother's house? Lin Fei didn't think too much this time. With such a person purely seeking death, Lin Fei was really happy to send him on his way. In any case, he could earn some money first. When this person saw that it was a golden core cultivator, he was even more disdainful. Yes, you didn't hear wrongly. I'll give you 3 moves. If you can't kill me after 3 moves, then you'll fall on this arena. I only need 1 move. This ordinary young man raised a finger. Lin Fei said very seriously, 3 moves should be enough. In any case, I'm also an expert who uses a sword. When this was said, it was unknown how many people laughed. Even Ma Ku's laughter could be heard from the boxes. You guys are really powerful. You actually sent a golden core cultivator who uses a sword. Do you really think that a sword expert is invincible? Everyone was very angry with Maku, but they couldn't do anything. After all, Maku had a considerable background. There was also a Sage King expert behind him. Lin Fei walked onto the life and death ring. Ripples appeared. The array was activated. Okay, now I'll give you 3 moves. Remember, only 3 moves. If you still can't kill me after the 4th move, then I'll kill you. Lin Fei took a step forward and slashed his sword at the other party's body. A layer of defense appeared on his opponent's body, and his entire body turned golden. Lin Fei slashed a second time. This time, like before, his opponent shook it off. My defense is a metal defense. It's terrifyingly strong. You want to kill me with just this bit of strength? You're really thinking too much. Now you only have 1 move left. Lin Fei took another step forward and slashed with his sword again. Then, he returned to his original place. It seems that your metal defense isn't that great. As soon as he said this, the person opposite him fell to the ground with a thud. The ground was covered in blood. Chapter 4496. Silence. The whole place was silent. No one would have thought that the guy who defeated a few experts in Xiongfeng City would be killed in 1 move. In fact, this sword looked very ordinary to everyone, as if it had no power at all. But under such circumstances, Maku's men were killed just like that. That scene instantly gave them a great shock. Almost every box was in a state of shock. Of course, only Xiong Baishan's box. That was not surprising at all. Xiong Batian knew Senior Lin's strength. No matter how strong Maku's man was, how could he resist? Senior Lin's attack was simply wishful thinking. After a short while, Maku's angry voice was heard. Xiongfeng City, I didn't expect there to be such a swordsman expert. I have learned something new. Everyone could hear the anger in Maku's voice. There was no doubt that Maku wanted to kill someone. Who knows who is on the inner platform? He is quite strong. He is obviously in the Golden Core realm, but his swordsmanship is outstanding. I really don't know. Could it be a rogue cultivator? If it is, it will be a great deal. Whoever recruits him will definitely make a lot of money. I think this person came with Xiong Batian. Could he be Xiong Baishan's man? Oh yes, I heard that Xiong Batian was being chased outside and almost couldn't come back. In the end, he came back. Maybe it was this young swordsman who helped him solve the problem. Those who could sit in the box were naturally people from Xiongfeng City. They were all well-informed people. Soon, they came to a conclusion. This person was Xiong Baishan's man. Therefore, everyone admired Xiong Batian even more. He went out at this time and actually found such an expert. No wonder he let him fight. They were happy to give Maku a hard slap in the face. At this time, in another box, Maku was in a bad mood. His body was filled with demonic energy and his eyes were terrifyingly cold. There were 3 experts standing next to Maku, and each of them was terrifyingly cold. Master, let me go down and fight with him. No matter what, I have to chop off his dog head. One of the more sturdy experts stood out. Maku glanced at him coldly. If you don't chop off his dog head, I'll be the first to destroy you and your family. Maku was indeed quite angry. He also had a Saint King behind him. Therefore, he was also a tyrannical overlord in the Tianxia province. However, he just couldn't stand the people of Xiongfeng City. Therefore, he would come here to show off when he had nothing to do. This time, he had recruited a few experts and was originally in a good mood. However, he did not expect to encounter such a situation. Xiongfeng City had unexpectedly produced such a powerful swordsman, which was really hard for him to accept. Therefore, Maku had to get his face back. Otherwise, he would be embarrassed. Once he left the masculine Wind City, all kinds of rumors would spread. They said that he, Mark, had suffered a loss in masculine Wind City. This was naturally not what Maku wanted to see. Ma Ku's voice resounded in the life and death arena again. Kid, your swordsmanship is not bad. I wonder if you have the guts to fight me again. 10 million mid-grade spirit stones. As soon as Ma Ku's voice came out, the people in the other private rooms were stunned. Everyone could see that Ma Ku was not willing to give up. Lin Fei had already taken all the spoils of war. How fragrant! He did not expect to get another piece of heavenly wood here. After hearing this voice, he laughed coldly. I heard that young Master Ma Ku is the son of a saint king. How can you take out 10 million mid-grade spirit stones? That is too little. After all, if I am killed by you, all the things on me will be taken back by you. Lin Fei said with a smile. At the same time, he searched the dead expert's body for a while and took away a storage ring. If you want to fight with me, you need at least 50 million mid-grade spirit stones. Otherwise, I will not fight. Lin Fei was not a fool. 10 million mid-grade spirit stones for a fight. How could that be possible? No matter what, it would at least be 50 million mid-grade spirit stones. He could see that Ma Ku was definitely a rich man. Since he was a rich man, he definitely had to fish for it. It did not matter if you were the son of a saint king. In this Xiongfeng city, even the son of a saint king had to be obedient. This was something that Lin Fei knew better than anyone else. When the people in the other boxes heard this, they secretly took in a breath of cold air. They did not expect young Master Xiong Baishan's new subordinate to be so arrogant. Just like Xiong Batian, he actually had the cheek to offer 50 million mid-grade spirit stones. This was an addiction. On the other side, Ma Ku's expression did not change. Isn't it just 50 million mid-grade spirit stones? No problem. However, it is not one fight but 3. Do you dare to fight? Ma Ku was also quite smart. If this person was not a match for him, then he would let the second expert go. If not, then he would let the third expert go. After 3 experts, the unlucky one would still be Lin Fei. At that time, he would definitely be able to kill Ma Ku. Don't think that just because Ma Ku was the son of a saint king, he was not stupid. He was still very smart. 3 fights, that's 150 million mid-grade spirit stones. As long as you can afford it, I naturally have no objections. I don't like other things, but I like mid-grade spirit stones. Lin Fei's words spread in the life and death arena. In an instant, everyone remembered this young man. These words were indeed a little too arrogant. After taking so many mid-grade spirit stones, he still dared to set his eyes on the 150 million mid-grade spirit stones. How strong did he think he was? They did not think that Ma Ku was a fool. At that time, the unlucky one would definitely be this kid. Since you want to court death so much, then I shall fulfill your wish. 3 fights, 150 million mid-grade spirit stones. From one of the boxes, a paper card flew out and landed on the notary table. When the crowd saw this scene, they all took in a breath of cold air. Ma Ku was indeed a rich person. He actually took out a purple card. The minimum was 100 million mid-grade spirit stones. After the notary checked it, he confirmed it. The bet is established. That's enough. As soon as the staff member finished speaking, a figure flew out of the private room. No, it was 3 figures that flew out in a row. One of them landed on the life and death arena. The remaining 2 people stood below with cold gazes. Even though they were just standing there casually, everyone could feel a terrifying killing intent from them. Ma Ku really brought experts, and he even brought several of them. This was beyond everyone's imagination. The son of a sage king was indeed arrogant. I see that your sword technique is very powerful. If you have the ability, you can kill me in one move. Chapter 4497. The person who came up had an ugly face. One look was enough to shock people's souls. Lin Fei was a little curious about Ma Ku. As expected, the people around him were all powerful. Especially this ugly person who actually knew how to use mental attack. He began to cultivate this technique. Therefore, anyone who fought with such a person would be able to imprint their ugly appearance in the depths of their soul before they even started fighting. It would affect their state of mind. It would affect their combat ability. It could be said that this person was a little vicious. Lin Fei laughed. It's very easy to kill you with one sword. However, just you alone won't be enough. The other two should come together too. After all, I think it's easier to take 150 million mid-grade spirit stones in one go. What do you think? Lin Fei's words undoubtedly provoked the person opposite him. Even the two people below the stage were the same. Of course, this included Ma Ku, who was in the private room. Ma Ku had never seen such an arrogant person who dared to say such words to him. He hadn't heard such words in a long time. The last time someone was so arrogant in front of him, he had already turned into a pile of dirt. After that, he didn't even dare to fart. It seems like you're really looking for death. Then I'll fulfill your wish. The two of you come together and kill him. The judge of the life and death platform naturally wouldn't have any objections. Anyway, this was a place for life and death training. If they won, they would win. If they lost, they would just be a corpse. It was a very easy thing to do. The other two went up too. After the two of them came up, the three of them instantly formed a formation. When the formation appeared, the surrounding people exclaimed, "Three origin formation. What the hell, there's actually such a formation." Once the formation is activated, their strength instantly soars. I'm afraid they have the strength of a late-stage Void Realm expert. The three of them all released their Tao and seemed very shocked. Everyone felt that they wouldn't be able to withstand their attack. The three of them also made their moves. The three moves merged into one and a huge shadow was summoned. A palm slapped down. In the face of the power of this palm, everyone held their breath. It's a pity that Xiong Beishan's newly recruited subordinate definitely can't withstand it. That's for sure. With his strength, how could he possibly withstand it? I reckon he'll be done for in one move. Ma Ku is really shameless. He just said that, and he actually has the cheek to send all three of them up together. Many people in the private room were filled with hatred towards Ma Ku. After all, no one liked Mark. Lin Fei, on the other hand, had a faint smile on his face. He turned around and sent a palm strike. They collided heavily. Then, a ray of sword light that was like a bright moon directly flew past the three of them. The speed of the sword light was unbelievably fast. Everyone only saw a flash of light, and then the arena became quiet. The formation formed by the three of them had already disappeared. The three of them knelt down with a thud. In an instant, the entire life and death arena became quiet again. It was unbelievably quiet. They found it even more difficult to accept and stood up one after another. Heavens! How is this guy so strong? Just how did he do it? When did his swordsmanship become so strong? He can even kill an insightful emptiness realm expert so easily. Seems like Xiong Beishan's brothers and sisters are in trouble this time. This guy is too strong. Even I can't see through him. At this moment, many people in the other private rooms also stood up. They didn't even see how this guy attacked. This was the scariest thing. Xiong Batian had found a powerful helper. If he could take down the successor, he would probably have a higher chance of winning. If he had a 50% chance of winning, he might have an 80% chance now. This guy was too strong. In fact, in a private room on the left, a young man stood up. His face was similar to Xiong Beishan's. He smashed the table with a palm strike. Bastard! Where did Xiong Batian find such a powerful helper? This is bad. I have to tell my brothers and sisters about this. Just now, no one thought that Xiong Beishan's subordinates could withstand the attacks of the three of them. However, the outcome was unbelievably fast. The three of them were killed. In Maka's private room, he was filled with anger. After a path flew out, everything in the private room was smashed into pieces. Maka pushed the door open and walked out. His face was filled with anger. He strode out of the life and death arena and stared coldly at the young man. "You're good. Really good. You actually dared to kill so many of my men. You must be satisfied with the 150 million middle-grade spiritual stones." Lin Fei had already taken 150 million middle-grade spiritual stones. In addition to what he had obtained previously, he now had more than 300 million middle-grade spiritual stones. In addition to what he had just received, he had more than 400 million middle-grade spiritual stones. It could be said that he was a pretty good nouveau riche. Lin Fei smiled. "I have to thank young Master Ma Ku for giving me such a big gift. In fact, I've been very poor recently. If there's such a good thing in the future, feel free to look for me. I'll definitely help you settle it." When the surrounding people heard this, they almost rolled their eyes. "Can't you see that Ma Ku has gone crazy? He almost wanted to kill someone. How dare you say such things in front of him?" At this time, Ma Ku was so angry that he started to laugh. "I quite like what you said. I'll give you 200 million mid-grade spirit stones. How about you be my subordinate? With your strength, it's not worth it to follow others. But if you follow me, I can help you earn more mid-grade spirit stones." No one would have thought that Ma Ku would offer a price that no one could refuse in the blink of an eye. 200 million middle-grade spiritual stones. It would be good if his subordinates could get 10 to 20 million at most. Now that it was 200 million middle-grade spiritual stones, many people even wanted to jump out. They were very willing to serve young Master Ma Ku. However, when they thought about his strength, they couldn't help but shake their head. Hence, they could only be envious and jealous. When would such a good thing happen to them? In the private room, Xiong Baishan's heart skipped a beat. He didn't expect Ma Ku to be so evil. He even had the cheek to offer money to take Senior away. For a moment, he wanted to rush down. In the end, he held back. He knew that he had promised Senior that once he became the successor, he would definitely receive more than this amount of spiritual stones. Lin Fei laughed. "As expected of young Master Ma Ku, you are very generous. You gave me 200 million medium-grade spirit stones right off the bat, but I am not in need of money now. When I am in need of money, I will definitely look for you." Bookseller's website. Chapter 4498. Ma Ku's gaze became even colder. No one knew better than him that the other party had rejected his offer. This was the first time he raised the price to 200 million medium spirit stones. As the son of the Sage King, Ma Ku was very favored. A mere 200 million mid-grade spirit stones was nothing to him. After all, the experts around him were all recruited at a price of 30 to 40 million medium-level spirit stones each. It was still every year. Because of this, Ma Ku never lacked experts around him. However, the swordsmanship of the young man in front of him was very powerful. At least, Ma Ku could not tell. He was also very clear that even if he fought with this guy, unless he used the Sage King's treasure, he would not be able to withstand the other party's attack. This guy must be a fast swordsman and his strength must be very strong, which was why he could kill this expert. 500 million medium spirit stones is the highest price I can offer. As long as you follow me, you will definitely have a good life. Even if you like the daughter of a rich family, I can get her for you. Ma Ku was not willing to let this young man go. No matter what, such an expert had to follow by his side. Only then would he have enough face. As for the people who died, it was nothing. It could only be said that they were not strong enough and died in vain. The surrounding people all sucked in a breath of cold air. 500 million medium spirit stones. Even for them, it would take a very long time before they could earn that much. It was very rare to see someone like Ma Ku, who could casually throw out 500 million medium spirit stones to recruit someone. They could not wait to come up, so everyone looked at the young man to see what he would choose. Many people in the private room were even more looking forward to this expert being poached by Ma Ku. In that case, it would be difficult for Xiong Batian to inherit the position of the Sage King. After all, the competition was very fierce this time, and everyone was looking for external help. And an external expert like Xiong Batian would definitely make them fear him, and they could not wait for Ma Ku to poach him. Lin Fei also underestimated this Ma Ku. He was actually so generous and willing to take out 500 million medium spirit stones. It was a pity that Lin Fei still rejected. He shook his head. Young Master Ma Ku, you're really generous. You can't even get me 200 million middle-grade spirit stones. Unfortunately, I don't lack spirit stones now. I can only apologize. Ma Ku coldly stared at him, then turned around and left. No one would have thought that Xiong Batian's subordinate would be able to reject the temptation of 500 million mid-grade spirit stones. If it were them, they definitely wouldn't have been so quick to refuse. They wouldn't have been able to remain so calm. Of course, they also understood one thing. This person had completely offended Ma Ku. Who is Mark? That was the son of the sacred king. Offending the son of the sage king would not end well. It might disappear at any time. This kind of thing was not rare, and they were all very clear about it. After Ma Ku left, Xiong Batian also walked down. Many people congratulated Xiong Batian. Young Master Xiong, you've really found yourself a good helper. Where did you find this helper? Do you have any other fellow disciples? Introduce them to us. This sword technique is too powerful. As a sword expert, even I can't see through it. How would Xiong Batian dare to say anything else? His face was full of smiles. He came to Lin Fei's side. Lin Fei shook his head slightly, gesturing for him not to greet him. After all, he didn't want people to think too much, because the harvest this time was definitely big enough. Xiong Batian knew this as well, so he said a few perfunctory words and left the life and death arena with Lin Fei. Back in the mansion. Congratulations, Senior, for obtaining so many spirit stones. I'm afraid that Ma Ku is going to cry from anger. Although Xiong Batian didn't say anything, everyone subconsciously thought that he would definitely get the qualifications to be the successor this time. And it was the kind that had a high chance of winning. Therefore, ever since he returned, Xiong Batian's expression was very good, and he was always smiling. Something like this hadn't happened for a very long time. This is also a good thing that you've done. If not for you, I wouldn't have gotten so many spirit stones. Don't worry, I'll definitely help you get the successor's position. Lin Fei said with a smile. Xiong Batian was also very tactful, and didn't disturb Lin Fei's rest. He turned and left. When he went out, he was in a very good mood. And after Xiong Batian left, Lin Fei also smiled. I didn't expect to obtain so many mid-grade spirit stones in Masculine Wind City. Ma Ku is really a good person, even better than Xiong Batian. Lin Fei had already broken through the 500 million middle-grade spirit stones mark. With such a sum of spirit stones, he could buy a lot of things. Therefore, this trip to Chaos City was definitely a big harvest. Lin Fei let the Divine Tree of Life absorb the Divine Tree of Life again. This time, after the Divine Tree of Life absorbed the Divine Tree of Life, Lin Fei was slightly stunned. This Divine Tree of Life actually had a little change. A technique landed in Lin Fei's mind. After looking at this technique, Lin Fei frowned slightly and smiled. I didn't expect the Divine Tree of Life to have such a magical use. To actually give me a technique, and an offensive one at that. Although Lin Fei's strength had improved very quickly and he had a strong physical body, he was still delighted after seeing this technique. This technique was called Holy Strike. Just the name itself sounded very domineering. As long as this Holy Strike was used, it could instantly mobilize all the power of the Divine Tree of Life and turn it into a terrifying attack. No one would be able to withstand it. This Holy Strike was not an ordinary attack. When it was used, it could instantly explode with a power that was 100 times stronger. That was the most terrifying thing about it. Lin Fei had never expected the Divine Tree of Life to give him such a generous gift. That's right. This was a truly generous gift. No matter who received this technique, they would not be able to sit still. Fortunately, Lin Fei was experienced and knowledgeable. Even though he was excited, he still managed to suppress his emotions. Initially, I was still worried that I didn't have any killing weapons on me. With this holy strike, I'll be able to kill gods and Buddhas if they come. There's nothing to worry about anymore. With such a generous gift from the divine tree of life, Lin Fei also realized one thing. He had been constantly obtaining this divine tree of life. Perhaps he might even obtain more technique. Even when Lin Fei was at his peak, he had never obtained a technique like this. It was simply too different. Therefore, he had to go to Chaos City. As long as there was a divine tree of life, Lin Fei would not miss it. If that was the case, the number of high-grade spirit stones he had on him would seem a little small. It would be an astronomical figure. Chapter 4499. Pung 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 pung. In a courtyard, everything in the room was smashed into pieces. The decorations in the courtyard were very high class. It could be said that every inch of land was worth its weight in gold. Be it the decorations or anything else, they could not withstand the force and were smashed into pieces. The person who was angry was none other than Maku. It was Maku. Maku had never thought that he would be unable to recruit a person after offering 500 million middle-grade spirit stones. He had also heard that this person was Xiong Baishan's subordinate and that he had just been recruited. If not for this person, Xiong Batian would not have been able to return to Masculine Wind City and would have been killed by his brothers and sisters. But it was this person who had a huge impact on Maku. The few subordinates that he had brought along were all annihilated, and he had even lost a lot of middle-grade spirit stones. Of course, to him, the loss of spirit stones was nothing. Maku was a little embarrassed, and that was the thing that made him feel the most uncomfortable. If he was recruited, it would be good to have such an expert by his side. But now that he was unable to recruit this person with 500 million middle-grade spirit stones, Maku had a crazy idea. He had to destroy this guy. He definitely could not let this guy continue to grow. No matter what, he had always been in the Golden Core realm, but his swordsmanship was extremely terrifying. If he was allowed to continue to grow, he would become very terrifying in the future. He could kill an insightful Void Realm expert so easily. If he reached the insightful Void Realm, wouldn't he be invincible in the insightful Void Realm? As the son of a sage king, Maku was still very rational. Therefore, he knew that this person had to be destroyed, and he could not let Xiong Batian become the successor. Everyone knew that Xiong Batian was arrogant and despotic. If he had such a subordinate, he would be able to hold his position in the future. In the long run, once Xiong Batian became a sage king, this young man would also become an existence comparable to a sage king. By then, he would be able to fight against a few sage kings, and it would affect the situation of the Underheaven County. Therefore, this young man had to die. Your mission tonight is to kill this young man. No matter what you do, don't let him live past tonight. Maku said softly. There was a fluctuation in the void. A figure walked out. Young master, are you sure you want to do this? If you do this, you will be completely against Xiong Batian. Maku laughed heartily. Xiong Batian, that brainless guy, what can he do if I kill him? Do you think he can take revenge on me? Even if I let him use a finger, he's still not my match. Maku did indeed have this confidence because he had already cultivated 3 great Daos. No one knew that he had cultivated 3 great Daos. Because in front of outsiders, he had always shown that he had 2 great Daos. Xiong Batian was simply too far off from him. There was no comparison at all. An old man with a head full of white hair walked out of the void. However, it was precisely this person who was extremely terrifying. He was an expert who cultivated 3 great Daos. These 3 great Daos were all rank 6 great Daos and had already protected Maku for several decades. No one had ever been able to defeat him, which was why Maku had asked the old man beside him to kill him. Since young master has said so, I'll bring this person's head back today for young master to see. Night fell. The entire Xiongfeng city became silent. It was the same for Xiong Beishan's residence. A shadow silently passed through the formation and came into the residence. This old man was like a ghost. Without any hesitation, he entered a room. This old man was good at breaking formations, which was why normal formations couldn't stop him. For formations like Xiong Beishan's, it was even easier for him to pass through. After entering, he saw the young man. He sighed softly in his heart. Who asked this young man to reject Ma Ku's good intentions? If not, he would definitely have a bright future if he followed Ma Ku. Even when he got close, he couldn't see through this person's strength. Other than speed, there was nothing else. Of course, this strength was also very strong and a little shocking. He couldn't imagine what kind of accumulation this golden core realm fella had. However, from the moment he killed those few Paradise Realm experts, he knew that this person was really strong. For such a person, once he stepped into the Paradise Realm, he would definitely be able to achieve the miraculous abilities of the Paradise Realm expert. The more that was the case, the more such a person couldn't exist. If not, it would definitely have a huge impact on the Underheaven County. There would also be a huge change in the situation. Such a person had to die. After thinking for so long, do you feel that it's a little regretful to kill me? Just at this moment, the person in front of him suddenly opened his eyes. His lips curled up and he smiled. The old man didn't mind. Seems like you are quite vigilant. Of course, Lin Fei was very vigilant. He was much more vigilant than most people, especially since his strength had improved by quite a bit. In fact, after his god of life grew taller, there was a magical effect. Lin Fei would be able to detect the presence of any powerful life forms within a certain range of the Tree of Life at the first possible moment. It didn't seem like much, but to Lin Fei, he would know what kind of experts there were in his range. No one could hide it. After all, if a person was strong, his life force would naturally be strong too. This was the best proof. That was why Lin Fei knew that the old man was here when he came in. No, before he even came in. That was because his life god tree could only cover a slightly larger area than a mansion. Of course, that was enough. At the very least, no one would be able to assassinate Lin Fei while he was resting. I know who sent you. Isn't it that Ma Ku? He is not bad to have such an expert by his side. From the moment he rejected Ma Ku, Lin Fei knew that Ma Ku would definitely come to deal with him. As a disciple of a saint king, he would definitely be smart. One could imagine that if he couldn't recruit such a person, he would definitely become a terrifying person in the future. So Ma Ku would definitely have some thoughts. After all, he wasn't from Masculine Wind City. If he missed today, then it wouldn't be easy to deal with Lin Fei in the future. So someone would definitely come tonight. Who knew that it would be an expert? It seems like you know too much. The old man pointed. 3 grade 6 das flew out and turned into a finger which tapped onto Lin Fei's body. This finger was really quick and it pierced through space. There were even threads of laws within. Chapter 4500. This old man was very strong. He attacked. The power of the 3 great paths swarmed over. Other than being domineering, it was still domineering. It was simply unbearable. It landed on Lin Fei's body, as if it was going to completely destroy Lin Fei's physical body. It was simple and straightforward. To the old man, this finger was called the heaven-shocking finger. Under this finger, the physical body would cease to exist. However, when his finger landed on Lin Fei's body, nothing happened as he expected. Instead, Lin Fei's lips curled up into a faint smile. As expected of an expert by Ma Ku's side. The power of this finger is really strong. Ordinary insightful emptiness experts would have their physical bodies destroyed by this finger. It's a pity that I can't do anything else, but my physical body is quite strong. Lin Fei laughed. When the old man heard this, his expression changed slightly. He knew that the power of his finger was unable to destroy Lin Fei's physical body. Lin Fei had completely withstood it. Lin Fei's physical body was as strong as a rock. He knew that this person definitely had a great background. There were not many people in the spiritual realm who could cultivate such a physical body. He knew that he was in trouble. Lin Fei was definitely a hidden expert. He definitely had a strong background. Maybe he had at least a few sage kings supporting him. The void rippled, and the old man was ready to enter the void. He had to tell Ma Ku about this and bring him away from Masculine Wind City. He definitely couldn't stay here any longer. If he stayed any longer, he might get into trouble. Lin Fei smiled faintly. Since you have already attacked, why are you in such a hurry to leave? I haven't even used my ultimate move. Whoosh whoosh. In the void, many green vines instantly wrapped around the old man. The old man's expression changed again. He kept destroying these vines. However, these vines became very strong. One after another, he couldn't break them in time. Even the defense of the Great Path couldn't stop these vines. In the blink of an eye, he was tied up tightly. He was dragged away. This was also a skill that Lin Fei had just learned. It allowed him to control the divine tree of life and capture powerful life force within a certain range. The old man was indeed very strong, but he was truly unable to withstand the attacks of the tree of life. As such, he could only obediently become nourishment. Looks like this Ma Ku is quite highly regarded by the Saint Ruler to have arranged for such an expert. Looks like I'll have to have a good chat with him. Lin Fei also walked into the void. Ma Ku moved to another courtyard. There was a cup of top-grade spirit tea in front of him, and he drank several cups in a row. However, he was still unable to completely suppress the irritation in his heart. He was waiting for the news now. The only thing that he was looking forward to was that once the experts beside him made a move, that young man would regret it no matter what. Who wouldn't be tempted by 500 million mid-grade spirit stones? Unfortunately, he had met such a guy who was not moved by his middle-grade spirit stones. This made him a little unhappy. Since he was displeased, he could only kill the other party. He had also solved a problem for Under Heaven County. Drinking tea alone, don't you feel lonely? Why don't I drink with you? Suddenly, a person appeared in the courtyard. Ma Ku's heart shook. He turned around and gave off a strong attack. With 3 heads and 6 arms, he unleashed a torrential barrage of attacks, causing the void to explode. This was Ma Ku's strongest technique, 3 heads and 6 arms. There weren't many people who grasped it in the entire spiritual world, and it was even harder to use it. This was also a technique that Ma Ku wouldn't use unless it was necessary. The void in front of him was indeed broken. But a hand was placed on Ma Ku's shoulder. An endless amount of power pressed down on him, and he knelt on the ground. The entire ground turned into ruins. Lin Fei sat in front of him. He opened a teacup and poured a pot of spirit tea before drinking it slowly. Kid, you aren't bad. You actually tried to assassinate me after losing the spirit stones. I really don't know what your brain is thinking. After all, you are the son of the Saint Ruler. Lin Fei smiled. But to Ma Ku, he was in a state of shock. His head felt numb and his back was covered in cold sweat. You are actually fine. Ma Ku was clear about the person beside him. He had taken care of him for decades. Who knew how many problems he had solved for him? But now, Lin Fei actually appeared here. Needless to say, the person he sent was definitely dead. The winner takes all. I, Ma Ku, have lost. You can do whatever you want to me, but I have a Saint Ruler's treasure on me. If you have the determination, then I don't mind taking you down with me. Ma Ku was direct. His face was a little ashen white, but his attitude was okay. Now, Ma Ku was regretting. Why did he make such a mistake? If he knew that this fellow was hiding his strength, he definitely wouldn't have sent someone. In the blink of an eye, all the experts around him were dead. Even his own life couldn't be guaranteed. Lin Fei put down the teacup. Don't worry. You are the son of a saint ruler. Why would I kill you? I don't want to be hunted down by a saint ruler. But you arranged someone to assassinate me. I am in a bad mood and my spirit has been affected. What do you think I should do? Although Mako looked very calm, he was actually very flustered in his heart. It was true that he had a sage ruler's treasure, but the other party had this kind of ability. If he also had a sage ruler's treasure, then if they were to fight, the one who would die might still be him. Mako didn't want to die here. Hearing this, he heaved a sigh of relief. He gritted his teeth and threw the ring on his hand over. All my treasures are here. I don't know if it's enough. Lin Fei didn't expect Mako to be so decisive. This was the best person he had seen in the spiritual realm. Lin Fei glanced at Mako's ring. There were quite a lot of things inside. Not to mention other things, there were 100 million high-grade spirit stones and 1 billion middle-grade spirit stones. There were also many other scrolls. There was even an item that emitted the aura of a saint ruler treasure. It should be those saint ruler treasures. Lin Fei nodded. You're quite a clever person. Seeing how clever you are, I won't kill you. I'll also return this saint ruler's treasure to you, just in case you get killed when you go out. That saint ruler treasure was thrown back in front of Mako by Lin Fei. For a moment, Mako wanted to cry. This was a saint ruler treasure. You don't even want it. This fellow must have a saint ruler backing him up. It wasn't as simple as 1 or 2. Did he have to bully people like this? Chapter 45:01. Mako's strength was indeed very strong, especially with his 3 heads and 6 arms. It was not something that just anyone could stop. Especially that frontal attack, it was like a torrential storm. If he couldn't block it, he would be killed. Of course, meeting Lin Fei was Mako's bad luck. After Lin Fei left, Mako left in the middle of the night. Mako left without saying anything. No one knew why Mako left in the night. Because Mako knew that if people found out that he didn't have any helpers by his side, he would definitely be in big trouble. If he was unlucky, even returning to his own territory would be a difficult thing. Don't think that he could do whatever he wanted in the World County, but there were many people who wanted to deal with him in the dark. For example, his brothers and sisters. Although they wouldn't kill him, it was very possible that he would be bedridden for 3 to 5 years and his strength would regress. He also hated this fellow in his heart. He was actually so strong that he thought he was just an ordinary expert. He was really taken aback. If he knew this would happen, he would have left this masculine wind city and wouldn't have suffered such a huge loss. His net worth was stripped in a night. Luckily, he still had a Sage King's treasure. Otherwise, he would really have no place to reason with. Lin Fei got what belonged to him from Mako without anyone noticing. One had to say that this Mako was really a piece of fat meat. If he met other people, he wouldn't dare to make a move at all. But who was Lin Fei? He really didn't care. If he could rob him once, he could rob him a second time. Lin Fei had that much confidence. This also caused Lin Fei's family to become extremely wealthy in an instant. His desire to head to Chaos City became even stronger. And the only thing he had to do now was to help Xiong Batian obtain the rights to be the successor. Other things were just a small matter. In the next few days, Xiong Batian was considered to be famous in Masculine Wind City. Everyone knew that he had an expert who defeated Mako's underlings, and Mako left in the middle of the night. Of course, this news only spread the next day. Everyone let out a long sigh of relief. Although they didn't do it themselves, it was definitely something worth celebrating to be able to make Mako leave overnight. Who didn't know that Mako had always swaggered around in the Masculine Wind City? Very few people made him leave in a sorry state. Xiong Batian was one of them. Therefore, in the past 2 days, Xiong Batian's influence inexplicably rose. Even Xiong Batian himself was a little confused. When did he become so popular? Especially when he saw his brothers and sisters, their faces were a little ugly. Xiong Batian grew happier and happier. He had to show off in front of his brothers and sisters. It made them feel as disgusted as if they had eaten a fly. Senior Lin, tomorrow is the qualifier. Xiong Batian came to Lin Fei's courtyard. A pot of herbal tea was served. This was the best, and Xiong Batian would send it over almost every day. He wanted to take the opportunity to pull some strings. Fei was quite satisfied with the spiritual tea. He poured himself a glass. Do you know what the selection is about? Lin Fei had taken a huge piece of meat from Ma Ku and the heavenly wood. Therefore, he was in a good mood recently. He had a faint smile on his face. Xiong Batian shook his head. I have no clue about this matter. After all, my father never lets others guess what he is doing. I can only wait until tomorrow. Lin Fei was just asking casually. No matter what the test was, there was naturally nothing to worry about. Since you don't know, then forget it. Go back and have a good sleep. After tomorrow, you will be the future heir. Xiong Batian nodded and left. After Lin Fei refined the heaven and earth herbs and the heavenly wood, his physical body improved by a huge amount. Now, his physical body was already at the hollowness realm. On the second day, Xiong Batian came when the sun rose. That night, Xiong Batian didn't sleep well. After all, the position of heir was quite important. He never thought that one day he would get the position of heir. And right now, Senior Lin was his greatest helper. He had also received some news that his brothers and sisters had paid a huge price this time. They had found quite a number of experts to assist them. As for finding external experts, the family had no objections. Being able to find external experts was also a kind of ability. Being able to find external experts was also a kind of performance. Lin Fei had been sitting in the courtyard for a long time. After staying for so many days, I can finally leave. Lin Fei stood up. He followed Xiong Batian to the Xiong family's ancestral home. The residence of Xiong Feng City was located in the center of the city. It was a very special place. It was an ancient house. According to Xiong Batian, the people of the Xiong clan all came out from this ancient house. Lin Fei hadn't even walked into the ancient house, but he could already feel that it was different. There were already quite a number of people standing in the ancestral home. The most eye-catching ones were Xiong Batian's brothers and sisters, who were around the same age as him. All of them stood up straight and their expressions turned solemn. When they saw Xiong Batian enter, their expressions changed. Especially when most of their gazes fell on Lin Fei. They had been investigating Lin Fei for the past few days, but no matter how much they investigated, they couldn't find any clues. It was as if Lin Fei had appeared out of thin air. The only thing they knew was that he came from a faraway county. There were only 10 county cities in the entire spiritual realm, but the distance between them was very far. Therefore, they were very afraid of this young man and did not investigate him clearly. But they knew that it was extremely rare for someone to be able to kill Ma Ku and the other 2 experts and make Ma Ku leave in the middle of the night. More importantly, this person stayed in Xiong Batian's courtyard and didn't come out. That was the most annoying thing. They were all prepared to talk to this person. If they could successfully poach him from Xiong Batian's side, it would definitely be something to be proud of. At that time, they would be able to obtain the position of heir with half the effort. Unfortunately, they were thinking too much. As for the higher-ups of the Xiong family, they also noticed this person. Everyone knew how strong the experts around Ma Ku were. Now, they actually couldn't see through this golden core guy. He was clearly just a golden core, but his swordsmanship was quite outstanding. He came and went without a trace, and his strength was so great that they couldn't withstand it at all. This was something that they had analyzed after the fact. Hence, they were really looking forward to the heir selection this time. Would Xiong Batian become the heir, or would it be someone else? Chapter 4502. Xiong Batian brought Lin Fei to the side and didn't squeeze towards the crowd. The surroundings seemed empty too. Right now, Xiong Batian seemed to have been pushed out by his siblings. But this time, Xiong Batian wasn't too bothered. After all, he had a high chance of winning. Hence, he secretly sent a message over. Senior Lin, that loud voice is my eldest brother, Xiong Wudi. This name was given to him by my father. He is also the most talented person in the Xiong family and has cultivated 2 great Dao. Beside my eldest brother, Xiong Wudi, is my second brother, Xiong Tianxia. He is also talented and has cultivated 2 great Daos. The one on the left with long hair is my third brother, Xiong Sihai. He has also cultivated 2 great Daos. Xiong Batian introduced them one by one. One had to admit that the sons of the Sage King had terrifying potential. Especially Xiong Batian's eldest brother, second brother, and third brother, all of whom had cultivated 2 great Daos. They were all of high quality. Compared to them, Xiong Batian couldn't be any more ordinary. Only Xiong Batian looked more like a Sage King. This was an advantage that his siblings couldn't compare to. Hence, Xiong Batian was quite popular in the family. But because of this, he was targeted by his siblings. Now, all of them seemed to be standing together against Xiong Batian. They had no choice. Who asked Xiong Batian to recruit such a powerful expert? With such a powerful expert around, if they didn't do anything, then they would have wasted their status as the sons and daughters of the Sage King. Lin Fei glanced at them indifferently. It's fine. They're just a bunch of chickens and dogs. Although the people around them are very strong, the position of successor will still be yours in the end. No one can take it away from you. Lin Fei had already seen that these people were strong. But no matter how strong they were, they couldn't be stronger than him. But Lin Fei was different. As long as he controlled the God Tree of Life within a certain range, he could devour a person's essence, spirit, and life completely. He didn't see the expert beside Maku being devoured just like that. Other than that, the God Tree of Life could also confine people. After being confined within a certain range, they would no longer be able to fight. At that time, Lin Fei would be able to decide whether he wanted to live or die. It couldn't be any simpler. Therefore, Lin Fei quickly closed his eyes and rested. When the siblings looked at Lin Fei, they all had strange expressions on their faces. At a time like this, he still closed his eyes and rested. He really didn't take them seriously. Don't worry, young master. No matter how strong that golden core kid is, can he snatch what I have in my hands? The middle-aged man snorted coldly. His cold gaze swept across Lin Fei. Xiong Wudi didn't care much about his younger brother, Xiong Batian, but he didn't expect his younger brother to bring him such a gift. Of course, the most important thing was that this mysterious golden core kid was very rich. According to their estimates, he had at least hundreds of millions of mid-grade spirit stones on him. Just the thought of it was a big fat fish. When we kill him, we must take his ring. Don't let anyone else take it away. Xiong Wudi had already sentenced him to death. Because the siblings had already discussed in private, their biggest enemy now was the golden core expert beside Xiong Batian. His swordsmanship was outstanding and powerful. Therefore, they had to deal with this mysterious swordsman first. As for Xiong Batian's younger brother, he just cultivated a great path. Such a great path could be easily dealt with. There was no need to worry at all. Young master, don't worry. It's easy for me to kill this kid. It just so happens that I've cultivated a new kind of poison. It's extremely poisonous and can kill insightful emptiness expert. It's just the right time to try it on him. Similar words kept happening around the few young people from the Xiong family. None of them looked up to the golden core kid. They had already done some research. As long as they had the right medicine, there was nothing they couldn't solve. And now, they were just waiting for it to start. An hour later, a white-haired figure walked in. After the white-haired figure came in, the ancestral home became quiet. Xiong Batian sent a voice transmission over. Senior Lin, this is the great elder of the Xiong family. He's in charge of everything in the family. Today's assessment should be announced by the great elder. Lin Fei looked at the Great Elder with a little surprise. This Great Elder was actually an expert who had cultivated 5 great Dao. That was a little impressive. The great paths were quite well proportioned. They were all rank 4 great paths. No wonder he was able to hold the position of the Great Elder. The Great Elder had a lot of influence in the family. When he came over, everyone quieted down and no one spoke. Their expressions were filled with respect. He came to the front. I see that almost everyone is here today. Let's start the selection of the successor. After all, you are the geniuses of the clan, the proud sons of heaven. However, the clan can only have one successor, so you have to show your abilities. Whoever wins will be the successor. This is the rule set by the clan head. The Great Elder was obviously referring to the Sage King. After all, they rarely showed themselves after becoming Sage Kings. No one knew where these Sage Kings were usually. Therefore, the Great Elder's position in the family was self-evident. Now, let me announce the contents of your assessment. This was decided by the family head himself. Everyone's heart tightened when they heard this. While they were looking forward to it, they were also a little nervous. The Great Elder flipped his hand, and a scroll appeared in his hand. After the scroll was opened, a mountain river diagram appeared in front of everyone. However, when the mountain river diagram appeared, everyone couldn't help but gasp. Great Elder, could this be the Immortals' Ruins battlefield left behind by the family head? The Great Elder said calmly. That's right. This is the Immortals' Ruins battlefield left behind by the family head. This is a battlefield that was refined by the family head using a supreme mystic art. There are actually quite a few Immortals' Ruins battlefield like this in our spiritual realm. Many families have them, but they are rather rare. When everyone heard about the Immortals' Ruins battlefield, their expressions changed. The Sky Prides started to get nervous. After all, everyone had heard of the Immortals' Ruins battlefield. Xiong Batian explained immediately. This Immortals' Ruins battlefield is actually a place where immortals fought a long, long time ago. However, their deaths brought about a huge change and formed a place similar to a forbidden zone. However, there are many things in the Immortals' Ruins battlefield. Therefore, many experts would refine these places into treasures and use them for training. Chapter 4503. Lin Fei had learned something new. He didn't expect the Xiong clan to have such a treasure. It was actually called the Immortals' Ruins battlefield. However, such a treasure did give Lin Fei a lot of feelings. This was because he felt a dangerous and terrifying aura from the mountain and river diagram. It was more terrifying than any other place. This was unexpected. I didn't expect such a thing to be so powerful. As expected of a treasure that only a Sage King would have. Such a thing could probably be used to suppress people. Lin Fei was extremely interested in such a place. He naturally wanted to take a look. He wanted to see how powerful these people were. The Great Elder continued, "The content of your assessment is to enter the Immortal Ruins battlefield. In the central region of the Immortal Ruins battlefield, the family has already left behind a clan medallion. Whoever obtains the clan medallion will be the successor. As for how you find it, it's up to you. During this period of time, killing is strictly forbidden. Otherwise, you'll be abolished." The Great Elder's last sentence was a little cold. After all, these were the sons of Sage Kings. They were the hope of the clan in the future. Naturally, they didn't want to see any casualties in such a fight. Therefore, they had to take precautions. Everyone's faces lit up. Looking at the external helpers, they were all elated. Fortunately, they had found helpers this time. Otherwise, it would have been really difficult. There would probably be dozens of people entering this time. When the time comes, the fight would be even more intense. Alright, I will now send everyone into the Immortals' Ruins battlefield. Inside the Immortals' Ruins battlefield, there are techniques and mystic arts left behind by the previous Immortals. You have to be careful. Although they won't kill you, they will injure you and disqualify you. You have to be aware of this. After the Great Elder's gaze swept across them, Everyone nodded. The Great Elder cast a spell. The tri-river diagram moved and expanded infinitely. Instantly, an entrance of flowing light appeared. Next, a series of light beams shrouded over and landed on everyone's bodies, sucking them in. Even Lin Fei was the same. He didn't need to resist at all before he was pulled into the mountain-river diagram. In the blink of an eye, Lin Fei landed in the Immortal Ruins battlefield. This ruined battlefield was very big, and it was filled with the danger of death. Xiong Batian and Lin Fei just stood there alone. The others seemed to have disappeared, and at this moment, the Great Elder's voice came from the mountain and river diagram. I've already placed all of you on the periphery. That way, everyone will be fair. Now, all of you can move because you only have 1 day. Whoever can last until the end will be the family's successor. The last sentence seemed to be filled with endless temptation. Senior, I'll be counting on you this time. Xiong Batian looked around before speaking respectfully to Lin Fei. Lin Fei smiled and said, "It's fine. It's just a family medallion. 1 day is more than enough. However, we have to be 1 step ahead of them. Otherwise, it would be troublesome to chase after them." Xiong Batian naturally wouldn't say anything. I will listen to Senior Lin. Xiong Batian did not have much confidence in his own strength. Therefore, he could only rely on Lin Fei. With Lin Fei around, there was nothing for him to panic about. Not long after the two of them flew, they saw a series of lightning bolts crashing down on them. Lin Fei was fine, but Xiong Batian's body was emitting black smoke. I don't think we can fly over. This should be a mystique left behind from the previous fights, and we touched it. Xiong Batian laughed bitterly. He swallowed a few pills. Just as he finished his sentence, there were quite a few energy waves coming from the Immortal Ruins battlefield. Seems like their luck is about the same as mine, to encounter these mystiques. Lin Fei laughed. If there weren't these mystiques, how could it be called the Immortal Ruins battlefield? There must be something special about it. Therefore, he gave up on flying. He rushed over on the ground. There were more traps on the ground, and from time to time, a bunch of mystiques would pop up. There were even some moves that came without a trace. There was almost no time to stop. There wasn't even a chance to breathe. One after another, they blotted out the sky and covered the earth, just like a killing array. Xiong Batian had never seen such a scene before, and he broke out in a cold sweat. Senior, hasn't this Immortal Ruins battlefield been in the past for a long time? Why is it still so strong? Xiong Batian swung his arm, and it felt a little numb. Just now. He had endured more than 10 rounds of attacks, and he almost couldn't take it anymore. Fortunately, Lin Fei intervened, otherwise, he would be finished. Lin Fei didn't expect the Immortal Ruins battlefield to have so many dangers. It could be said that every 10 steps was a huge danger. It was no wonder that the elder said it so casually. It seemed like it wasn't going to be easy to get to this place. Then, he could only charge forward bravely. This method was quite good, and it wouldn't give you any time to think. Either you give up or you just charge forward. It was just that simple. From now on, just follow behind me. Otherwise, with your speed, it won't be easy for us to reach the core region. Lin Fei could tell. They could only charge forward in this place. Lin Fei didn't have any problems, but Xiong Batian did. Based on this efficiency, he would have been injured before he reached the core region, and wouldn't have a chance at all. Therefore, Lin Fei had to do it himself. Indeed, Xiong Batian was feeling the immense pressure. Even though he had cultivated out a great Tao, it was still not enough in a place like this. Therefore, he could only follow behind Lin Fei. Even so, he could only heave a sigh of relief. Lin Fei simply summoned a Sword Intense Storm and attacked. As the Sword Intense Storm moved forward, the killer moves that were lying in ambush were activated one by one, and instantly landed on the Sword Intense Storm. The Sword Intense Storm was also incredibly ferocious, and it was able to block the attack with just 2 of them. Even though it was just a storm of sword intent, it wasn't very long, but it was very effective. There were practically no other moves that could be used. This caused Xiong Batian, who was at the back, to be even more impressed by Lin Fei's methods. With such methods, it was indeed much faster than before. However, this wasn't enough, and his speed was still much slower. Lin Fei struck out another sword intense storm. He charged through the sword intense storm, and it was like he was walking on the path of death. Chapter 4504. Xiong family's ancestral home. Everyone was paying attention to the situation at the celestial ruins. Most of them were the talented ones like Xiong Wudi, Xiong Tianxia, and Xiong Sihai. They had a high chance of getting the family token. Although they said that they wanted to hold on until the end, they brought many helpers because they were only allowed to bring 1 to 3 helpers. They basically brought 3 helpers. They weren't like Xiong Batian, who only brought a young man in. He was an expert swordsman. Young Master Xiong Wudi's subordinates are not bad. They actually know how to use formations and probe before advancing. I think young Master Xiong Tianxia is not bad too. He actually found a guy with invincible defense. It's really surprising. The upper echelons looked over one by one. But when they saw Xiong Batian, they sucked in a breath of cold air. Good fella. His sword intent was really fierce. He actually had such a method. It was like he was dancing on the tip of a knife. One by one, the sword will storms swept over. Just as the sword will storms touched these moves, they passed through the gaps, and their speed was getting faster and faster. After a comparison, it seemed that they were running at the forefront, which really surprised these higher-up. The elder who had been watching was also surprised. He had heard about what happened recently. He was really curious about this person. He had observed him just now, but what surprised him was that this guy was actually a golden core expert. He wasn't someone who was hiding his strength. There was no way he was wrong about this realm. Who was the great elder? He was someone who cultivated 5 daos so he could see everything clearly. When he saw the situation, he was even more curious about Lin Fan's sword technique. There were many people in the spirit world who were good at sword technique. It was rare to see someone like him who could move at will and be so powerful. Unknowingly, Xiong Batian gave his brothers and sisters a huge amount of pressure. Senior Lin, your sword intense storm is the best. We don't need to fight head-on with these killer moves at all. We just need to analyze the past. Lin Fei and Xiong Batian's speed was very fast, and they were able to traverse through the forest without any mishaps. The deeper one went, the more powerful the killer move and divine art would be. The storm of sword intent could still be blocked. More importantly, Lin Fei could also raise his own strength, so it was not difficult for him to fight head-on. You just stay behind and pay attention to your surroundings. Don't get ambushed. With that said, Xiong Batian didn't dare to let his guard down. He was afraid of being ambushed. 4 hours later, Lin Fei and Xiong Batian's speed became slower and slower, because the killer moves here were getting stronger. Once the storm of sword intent was unleashed, even though it could form a small gap, it wasn't easy to cross it. Thus, he could only slow down. At this moment, it seemed like they were the fastest. Senior, look. That's the core region. Xiong Batian's eyes suddenly lit up as he pointed to the front. There were also ruins in front of them, but there was a building that was very eye-catching. That was because there was a statue placed there. This statue wasn't short at all, it was a full 300 zhang tall. It was extremely dazzling to be placed there just like that. When they came here, they all knew that the core area was based on a statue. This statue was 300 zhang tall. That was the best proof. Looks like we should be at the core region. We should be the first to arrive. Xiong Batian finally heaved a sigh of relief. Because there was no movement in the surroundings, so it was without a doubt that it was the first to arrive. Lin Fei also noticed the situation in front of them. At the same time, he also knew where the clan token was placed. Do you see that statue? Your clan token is placed in that statue's hand. With Lin Fei's words, Xiong Batian also noticed it. It was really placed in a palm. It was very eye-catching. There was no need to look for it at all. Xiong Batian suppressed the thoughts in his mind. Senior, please help me get the clan token. Lin Fei immediately retracted the storm of sword intent and performed the deadly sword technique. The sword technique was untraceable. It had become even faster. Because his physical body had become stronger, when he performed the deadly sword technique, he instantly entered the second level from the first level. He was already infinitely close to the third level. After a series of crackling sounds in front of him, the killing techniques that filled the sky suddenly disappeared without a trace. Everyone in the ancestral mansion sucked in a breath of cold air. They could not see the sword technique at all. It was as if it had never been used. It was really unbelievable. The Grand Elder's eyes also lit up slightly. What a powerful sword technique! What a fast sword technique! I did not expect there to be such a person. This time, Xiong Batian has a higher chance of becoming the successor. The Grand Elder's eyes were still very sharp. Therefore, he could tell that this Lin Fei was really very strong. In fact, he was a little ridiculously strong. Lin Fei knew that the Grand Elder would be sizing him up. However, he was not too worried and continued to perform the deadly sword technique. As he approached the huge statue, the closer he got to the huge statue, the more powerful the killing techniques would be. The powerful techniques were extremely terrifying. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. This bit of power was nothing to Lin Fei. It was not too dangerous. He reached out and grabbed the family crest. However, just as he was about to get close to the family crest, the palm exploded with a brilliant light, as if it was going to pierce through Lin Fei's palm. Lin Fei's 5 fingers were not pierced by this brilliant light. It directly pressed down and the light collapsed. The family crest also fell into Lin Fei's hands, and he casually threw it to Xiong Batian. Now that the family crest is in your hands, the rest will naturally be waiting for your brothers and sisters to come to you. Xiong Batian felt like he was dreaming as he held the family crest. He had done it so easily. Although he had paid a huge price for it, although he had not given it to Yi Shiwen, he had really obtained the family crest. All that was left was to hold on until the next day. At that time, he would be the successor. He would be high and mighty, and he could even become a holy king in the future. He knew that there was a secret in the family that could cultivate to become a holy king. However, this secret could only be known by the future family head. Outsiders did not know about it. Therefore, the Xiong family had always been able to preserve it. They had almost 2 holy kings. They had stabilized their position in masculine Wind City. Otherwise, they would have long been targeted by others. If we plan to leave, it will be even harder for them to find us. Xiong Batian asked. Lin Fei smiled and said, "If we leave now, how can I get some benefits from them? There are not many fat pigs like them." Chapter 4505. When Xiong Batian heard this, he knew what Lin Fei wanted to do. His brothers and sisters were probably going to be out of luck. But for some reason, his mood became very good when he heard this. He knew that his brothers and sisters didn't have any good intentions. Just like this time, when they entered the Immortals' Ruins battlefield. Each of his brothers and sisters had brought 3 experts with them. These experts were invited from outside and they had paid a huge price. It could be said that they were all quite wealthy, and he couldn't wait for Lin Fei to sweep them clean. When that happened, his brothers and sisters would have to live a hard life for at least 10 years or even a few decades. Without spirit stones, it was equivalent to having no cultivation resources. This meant that after he became the successor of the Xiong clan, the resources would be greatly tilted to him, and he would become a sage expert. Therefore, his brothers and sisters would have to live very miserable lives. There was nothing more delightful than this. "Senior, this is a good idea. Just these middle-grade spirit stones alone should be worth hundreds of millions. or even more than 1 billion. As for high-grade spirit stones, it should be more than enough to get tens of millions. At this time, there was a continuous stream of people coming in this direction. Waves of energy fluctuations spread out in the vicinity. The first to arrive was Xiongwudi. Just like his name suggested, he took the lead, and the 3 experts beside him were very powerful. The first thing he did was kill his way here. When he saw the statue, he was overjoyed. It seems that I am the first person to arrive. No one can snatch the clan token from my hand. Xiongwudi laughed, but as soon as he finished laughing, his pupils shrank. To his surprise, he saw 2 people standing under the statue. One of them was his younger brother, who was looking at him with a smile. My big brother, you're a step too late. The clan token is in my hands. Xiongbattian waved the clan token in his hand, showing off. When Xiongwudi saw the young swordsman standing beside him, he felt like his heart was about to collapse. He was actually a step too late. He had clearly gone all out to come here, but why was he still a step too late? This wasn't the result he wanted. Didn't you always think that you were the strongest? Then come and get this clan medallion. Otherwise, if I become the successor, you won't have a good time. Xiongbattian laughed again. These words were like a slap to Xiongwudi's face. Xiongwudi had always thought of himself as the strongest in the family. In fact, he was indeed talented, and his cultivation speed was also the fastest. Unfortunately, he seemed to be stuck in recent years, which was why his younger brothers had caught up to him. In the end, they were almost at the same level, which was a great humiliation for Xiongwudi. His face turned cold and gloomy. The 3 of you go and deal with that young man. I'll deal with Xiongbattian. We need to end this quickly. Xiongwudi gave the order. The other brothers hadn't arrived yet, so he had to be a step ahead. As long as he could stall for time, he would naturally be able to snatch the family medallion. The 3 experts immediately took action after receiving the order. Each of them released the great Tao behind them, forming various rings. He threw himself at Lin Fei. Xiongwudi, on the other hand, had his eyes on Xiongbattian. Just as they were about to get close, a sword mark rushed over like a ripple. It disintegrated all their tricks. It turned out that at this time, Lin Fei had already made his move. The sword was light, and the waves were like water, and the water was like arrows, directly slapping over. The defense of the great Tao around them was collapsing one after another. The flowing light was like the sea, directly crushing them. In an instant they were sent flying. Even Xiongwudi was the same. After landing, he couldn't even stand properly. Just the 4 of you really can't do it. Let's wait for your brothers and sisters to arrive first. Lin Fei smiled faintly. Even though it was just a light sword, the power of the sword gave Xiongwudi and the other 3 a great deal of pressure. Again, Xiongwudi didn't dare to admit defeat. He released his 2 great Tao again. The 3 experts also attacked at the same time, but they were still defeated by Lin Fei with a single sword strike. They were no match for him at all. I advise you to save your energy. Wait for your people to arrive, then it will be more interesting. Xiongbattian also laughed. Did you hear that? Take a rest first. You can't beat him anyway. I don't mean it. The family token is in my hands. You have no hope. The people in the ancestral mansion were also paying attention to the situation. When they saw the situation, they couldn't help but take a deep breath. It seemed that the situation was much worse than expected. Even a young master like Xiongwudi was no match for this young man. This young man's sword technique was too powerful. They couldn't see it at all. If this kind of sword technique was used to kill insightful emptiness realm experts, wouldn't it be easy? Everyone couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat again. They couldn't afford to offend such a person. At this age, he was in the golden core realm and had accumulated so much. It was rare in the entire spiritual realm. Where did he come from? They had no idea at all. They couldn't imagine. Great Elder, you're very knowledgeable. Do you know where this person came from? Someone asked. The great elder was also filled with curiosity as he shook his head. I can't recognize this either, but only the top 10 or top 100 powerhouses of our spiritual realm can nurture such a sword principle expert. Apart from them, there is no one else in the spiritual realm. The top 10 experts were recognized as the strongest, but there were still the top 100 experts behind them. These were all powerful people that people were very afraid of. Of course, there were also a few special places, which was what the great elder cared about the most. Since when did Xiong Batian find such a helper? Now, he was even more convinced that this should be Xiong Batian's opportunity. An expert like this couldn't even be invited. Even the great elder felt that if he didn't use his 5 great Dao, he probably wouldn't be able to resist the other's sword technique. This was because the other party's sword technique had exceeded the limit of ordinary experts. Unless one was extremely powerful, there was no way to defend against this sword. The other party didn't kill Xiong Wudi, which was already giving the Xiong clan a lot of face. Of course, if that was the case, the great elder wouldn't say it out loud. He just had to know. At the very least, this young man had a considerable background. After being defeated countless times, Xiong Wudi finally gave up. Sword wounds were left on his body. Chapter 4506. Xiong Wudi had never expected that he would be defeated by someone brought by Xiong Batian. After countless attempts, it was to no avail. Instead, his body was covered in sword wounds. Did he really have to wait for his brothers and sisters to arrive before attacking? Was this person really that strong? Xiong Wudi started to doubt himself and stopped attacking. He just stared coldly at Xiong Batian and the young man. My good brother, did you see that? I told you not to attack. You're just asking for trouble. Xiong Batian's face was also filled with pride. He could finally look down on his good brother and say such word. This was something he had never dared to say in his entire life. Even though Xiong Batian was usually arrogant, he didn't dare to do as he pleased in front of his brothers in the family. But now, he could finally turn the tables and take charge. He shouted 3 times. The future belongs to me. Xiong Wudi was frustrated. This was the first time he had encountered such a situation. If possible, he really didn't want this to happen. Everyone knew that this young man was strong, and even Ma Ku's experts weren't a match for him. They were mentally prepared, but they still couldn't accept the situation. Was the gap really that big? You don't have to be too happy. When your brothers and sisters are all here, you'll be the one crying. Xiong Wudi decided to wait for everyone to arrive. Xiong Batian laughed out loud. All right then, we'll settle the score together. He had absolute confidence in Lin Fei. After Lin Fei made his move, he did not make any more moves. There wasn't much difference between one more and one less. As time passed, more and more people rushed over from all directions. After all, everyone wanted to be the first to arrive. But when the first person appeared, he saw Xiong Wudi. Then, he saw Xiong Batian and the family crest. He immediately understood what was going on. His big brother was probably at a disadvantage. He knew just by looking at the sword wounds on his body. Hence, he decided to wait and see. If even his big brother's men weren't a match for him, he would just be asking for trouble. Xiong Wudi quickly conversed with his brother. Not long later, more and more people arrived. There were a dozen of them. They brought reinforcements and the scene was bustling. All of them had different expressions on their faces. Who would have thought that Xiong Batian's unremarkable younger brother would be the one to take away the clan medallion? Moreover, the other party had only brought along a single expert. Brothers and sisters, this is our chance to work together. Let's get rid of this guy first. Otherwise, none of us will get the house medallion. When that happens, our good little brother will take over. Invincible Xiong was quite charismatic. After all, he was the eldest brother. After that, World Dominator and World Dominator also agreed. After all, no one was a fool. They weren't a match for this young man in a one-on-one fight, but now that they had so many people, they naturally had a chance to defeat this young man. Xiong Batian didn't say anything and left everything to Lin Fei. He believed that he would be able to protect the family medallion. The higher-ups in the ancestral mansion were also watching this scene. Everyone wanted to know what the final outcome would be. In fact, they hadn't expected such an outcome. That Xiong Batian actually had such an advantage. With just a foreign expert, he was able to gain the upper hand. However, the geniuses of the family weren't to be trifled with. Don't forget that they all had some Sage King's treasures in their hands. Although they didn't use them because they didn't think it was necessary, they were forced into a difficult situation. Once the Sage King's treasures were used, even a simple attack would be able to make this young man suffer a great loss. Lin Fei glanced at these people indifferently. Since everyone is here, let's cut the crap. Let's just do it together. After I get rid of all of you, I can go home and sleep in peace. As soon as these words came out, they were all infuriated. Could it be that they were so incompetent? Do you really think you can do it? Let them go home and sleep? You'll regret it later. World Dominator added. You're an outsider. Don't think that you're great just because you defeated an expert like Maku. This isn't your territory. Xiong Sihai also stood out. Yes, this is our Xiong clan. It's not your place, and it's not a place for you to behave atrociously. With them taking the lead, everyone started to move in an instant. One by one, the treasures gathered. There were a total of 30 to 40 treasures. The sky seemed to darken all of a sudden. A terrifying pressure swept over. Even Xiong Batian trembled, but he forced himself to take a deep breath. Don't be nervous, don't be nervous. Senior Lin is here. Xiong Batian had never seen such a lineup before. But he knew that these brothers and sisters of his had a certain amount of wealth. Naturally, they didn't lack treasures. It seemed to be true. The corner of Lin Fei's mouth curled up slightly, and he also smiled. It was true that these people were very capable. That also proved that these people were fat from head to toe. Of course, Lin Fei was interested. After all, he already had 500 million mid-level spirit stones, plus the spirit stones that he had seized. But he didn't mind having more spirit stones of his own. Who knew how many spirit stones he would have to spend in Chaos City? Swoosh. The sword intent emerged and turned into a huge ripple. It directly blocked all of these attacks. As soon as the attacks made contact, crackling sounds were heard. Layer after layer of ripples were continuously broken. But when it was only a few inches away from Yi Xian, it could no longer go any further. It was forcefully blocked. Although these people had all cultivated the Great Path. But Lin Fei's methods were not that simple. Naturally, they couldn't defeat him. As soon as the sword in his hand was drawn, a huge storm was formed instantly. This sword-intent storm was also unprecedented. Everyone was enveloped in it instantly. No one knew why this sword-intent storm was so huge. But as soon as it appeared, everyone was enveloped in it. That sword intent turned into countless attacks. It directly turned Yi Xian from a passive position to an offensive one. The expressions on these people's faces changed drastically. The people in the ancestral mansion outside also sucked in a breath of cold air. They didn't expect this foreign aide to be so resourceful. He had quietly laid out a plan, and everyone was carrying out a comprehensive attack. Under such a comprehensive attack, the advantages and disadvantages were very obvious. They could see it immediately. And in fact, these disciples of the Xiong family were indeed a little dumbfounded by these sword intents. Because there were too many of them. They were so densely packed that they couldn't see the end.